second. That's just something we're going to continue to keep on working on.
It's the latest information.
Are drying up.
I know. I've been meaning to eat those. I'll get around to it.
Get around to it.
I will, man. Jeez. All right?
Or just eat Jack Link's jerky. Smoked, seasoned. Some real meat would do you a lot of good, Tim. Jack Link's beef jerky. Official meat snack of NASCAR. Feed your wild side.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
We welcome you back to Talladega Superspeedway on a mostly sunny 85-degree day here in East Central Alabama as we get set for the Love's RV Stop 225 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. NASCAR Racing Network live here at Talladega Superspeedway as we get set for today's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Todd, this is a big race for these drivers and a lot of pressure.
Yeah, definitely one of those. The second race of the playoffs for all three series as we come here. Christopher, I want to bring you on this piece. This is the second race. You're 20 above the cut line, but what can you do this week to prepare for this place? No practice, simulator time probably doesn't work.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm asking you. I'm asking the crew chiefs how we can be best prepared for this event, and it's so tough because it's so situational. Everyone's trucks are going to be driving perfect whenever you're out there by yourself. You put yourself in the draft, and then you just never know. It can be different race to race. It can be different run to run or even lap to lap. So super, super tough race because you feel like you're not in control of your own destiny.
NASCAR Cup Series Joe Gibbs Racing driver Christopher Bell joining us up here in the tower as we go trackside for opening ceremonies.
Race fans, please rise as you are able. Remove your hats and veterans render a hand salute as the Junior ROTC of Southern Prep Academy and Cross Keys High School Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation from Motor Racing Outreach, President and Senior Chaplain Billy Molden.
Heavenly Father, as we rise up, Lord, to pray, we just want to recognize your presence in our lives. Father, the faith, hope, and love that you have for all of us. Lord, we just pray for these drivers, teams, officials today, Lord. We ask you to watch over everybody. Give everybody a safe day of racing, Lord. And for all the fans that are here in attendance, Lord, a great time and great memories. Father, as we recognize our nation, Lord, we also want to remember those both at home and abroad that are defending our freedom. Lord, be with them. Keep them safe. Father, may your peace and your presence surround us all. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome the Hartselle High School Choir.
That's
Opening ceremonies complete. 36 drivers climb aboard their trucks on the pit lane as we're set for the Love's RV Stop 225 at Talladega.
NASCAR Live Race Day has been brought to you by Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com.
So you're a Toyota Cup driver and you just made it to the playoffs. Now all you have to do is win. Easy. Just turn left, right? That and start strong, take off, reach 200 miles per hour, maintain a good position, no big deal, lap again, time your pit stops, steer clear of accidents, talk to your crew chief like your best friend, and most importantly, turn left. Easy, right? You in? Get up to speed at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Every hero's story has a humble beginning. Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream.
It's been a fairy tale season.
Every home track is the start of something special.
That's just good old short track racing.
Oh, a little retaliation. Holy cow! Learn more about NASCAR regional tracks near you at nascar.com/regional.
From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Whelen Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Whelen Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Live on the NASCAR Racing Network. It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Let's get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll and pass the race cars today, pal. Pull boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Today, the Love's RV Stop 225 from Talladega Superspeedway. Brought to you by Craftsman. Runs long, works great, won't slow you down. The Craftsman V20 brushless RP lineup. Built for the backyard and beyond. See craftsman.com for details. By Ally Bank, official consumer bank of NASCAR, member FDIC. By Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance.
It's race 2 in the round of 8 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the Love's RV Stop 225 from the Talladega Superspeedway, as 36 drivers have been climbing aboard their trucks over the last couple of moments down on the pit lane, just a few moments away from the command to fire engines. And Alex Hayden, the talking is complete, the break for these teams over, time to go racing, and perhaps another driver advancing into the all-important Championship 4.
But the way this season has gone, especially as of late, you got to beat Corey Heim and Lane Riggs. Between those two drivers, they've won the last 9 races of the season. The last race not won by either Heim or Riggs was all the way back on June 7th at Michigan International Speedway. However, Todd, Talladega Superspeedway, for the last 6 races here, have been won by drivers getting their first career win.
And this is a place that everybody's in the mix. It's an opportunity for all, and that decision could be from the tri-oval to the start-finish line. We could have multiple different leaders at that point. Anybody's got an opportunity to win today.
And indeed, we saw that a couple of years ago. The winning driver started in the 31st position just a couple of years ago. Christopher Bell also joining us up here in the tower. We'll be running here on Sunday. Where do you prefer to start? I know you'll be qualifying late tomorrow afternoon when pole qualifying takes place. I believe the 36th driver out.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the strategy plays out. So the Cup race and the Truck race are completely different races with the stage lengths and the fuel mileage and everything like that. So the Cup races, sometimes it can be advantageous to be in the back of the field. You're burning a little bit less fuel. I don't think fuel strategy will be as critical here in the Truck Series with a shorter race, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely one of those things. With 20-lap stages, I don't see fuel being a piece there. The piece from lap 40, stage 2 to lap 85, that might be on the edge of a fuel window. We'll see where that plays out.
But the key is you got to be at the bottom of the racetrack when it's time to come to pit lane, and that can be a challenge all in itself to come from high speed on the pit road speed limit, which is 55. Let's go trackside.
Talladega Superspeedway. Give a big NASCAR welcome to the Senior Director of Hospitality and RV Operations for Love's RV Stop, Jim Wheeler. He is here today to say the most famous words in motorsports. Take it away, Jim.
Drivers, start your engines.
"36 trucks come to life at the Talladega Superspeedway. The Love's RV Stop 225 is next.
Just like a pit crew helps a driver reach victory lane, Ally helps you reach your financial goals. Ally has tools like savings buckets to keep your savings on track and savings boosters to put a little extra gas in your tank. Visit Ally.com to learn more about how you can grow your money fast. Savings buckets and boosters are features of the Ally Bank savings account. Ally Bank, member FDIC.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
One team we're going to keep an eye on here this afternoon is ThorSport Racing, winless so far here in 2025. The team's last winless season way back in 2007. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Gear up. Visit the NASCAR shop online to find all of your favorite officially licensed NASCAR product. The NASCAR Shop is the official online store of NASCAR and your destination for all of your favorite hats, t-shirts, die-casts, and more. Whether tailgating, home gating, or anything in between, visit NASCAR.com/shop for the widest assortment and best selection of NASCAR gear today.
This is Kyle Larson.
I'm David Grau.
Hi, I'm Donnie Shaw.
This is Brian Brown. This is Danny Dietrich.
Wing Nation is your go-to destination for all the latest sprint car news and interviews from the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. This is Steve Post, Aaron Evernham, Ashley Strummy, and I will have all the latest news, insights, and conversations on Wing Nation's YouTube or Facebook pages, or listen and download and subscribe to Wing Nation on any podcast platform.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation. Wing Nation.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation, all sprint cars, all the time.
Now, here's the starting lineup.
36 trucks are entered. 34 took time earlier today. Here's the starting lineup. Starting in the 36th spot will be Caleb Costner. Lane Riggs, after unapproved adjustments, did not qualify this morning and will start 35th. Greg Van Ulst will start from the 34th spot. Jason White will go 33rd. 32nd starter is Norm Benning, while Nathan Bird will start 31st.
Tony Breidinger qualified 30th. Josh Rayom will start 29th. Frankie Muniz back with us after a wrist injury. He'll start 28th today. Tyler Tomasi will start 27th. Jake Garcia starts 26th. Chandler Smith will start back in 25th. Jack Wood qualified 24th. Matt Mills goes 23rd. Andres Perez de Lara will start 22nd. And Parker Kligerman was qualified 21st, but is now scheduled to drop to the back of the field for unapproved adjustments.
Bailey Curry will start from the 20th position. Spencer Boyd will go 19th. 18th starter will be Corey LaJoy. Daniel Hemrick, a playoff contender, will start 17th. J.J. Yaley will start from 16th. Another one of the playoff drivers will go 15th. That's Grant Infinger. Connor Mosack will start 14th. 13th starter is Chris Wright. Dawson Sutton will go 12th, and Rajah Caruth, a playoff contender, 11th.
With Tanner Gray going from the number 10 spot. Brett Holmes from nearby Munford, Alabama, he'll start 9th. Tyler Ankrum will start 8th. Ben Rhodes goes 7th, and Luke Finhouse starts 6th. Caden Honeycutt, playoff contender, starts 5th, with Matt Kraft in 4th and Corey Heim starting 3rd. Starting 2nd is Ty Majeski, and on the pole for the second time in his Craftsman Truck Series career, Gio Ruggiero.
As the trucks begin to roll from the pit lane and begin to make their parade and pace laps here at the Talladega Superspeedway, the start of race 2 in the round of 8 from Talladega is coming up.
DIYers, ever start a project thinking this'll be quick, only for it to be anything but? We've all been there, and that's why you need Craftsman, DIYers' most trusted brand. Craftsman's V20 battery works across drills, saws, trimmers, mowers, and over 100 other products from the house to the backyard and beyond. No dead stops, no refuels, just grab, swap, and get it done. Because your project might fight back, but your tools shouldn't. Head to Craftsman.com to learn more. Craftsman, build on.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
The green flag is next. The Love's RV Stop 225 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-375-3232. 800-375-3232. That's 800-375-3232. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
Field of 36 trucks on pace and parade lap number 2 here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Alex Hayden, Kyle Rickey, Todd Gordon, and former series champion Christopher Bell high above the start-finish line in the NASCAR Racing Network broadcast booth. We've already heard from our pit reporters, Steve Post, Jason Toy, and Brad Gilley. Let's take a lap around the racetrack now and bring in a few more voices that'll be covering the action here this afternoon around this 2.66-mile tri-oval. Over in turns 1 and 2, as always, Barry, Vermont's Dave Moody.
Thank you, Kyle Rickey. Good afternoon once again, everybody, as the field makes its way by on its second parade and warm-up lap. This end, the turn 1 and 2 end of Talladega, the southeast end of this sprawling superspeedway complex, banked 33 degrees, plenty wide to run 2 and 3 and sometimes even 4 wide as we get down to the late stages of this event. All that banking drops away to just 3 degrees as they spill out onto the Alabama Gang super stretch. Sometimes things can get a little tight. People get squeezed up into that outside wall, and we've seen some massive wrecks exiting off turn 2 to the back straightaway here at Talladega over the years. We'll watch it all unfold from high atop the Sunoco Tower at the exit of turn number 2. Now to the other end of the Alabama Gang Super Stretch in Marlboro, New Jersey's Tim Catalfamo.
Thank you very much, Dave Moody. Good afternoon, everyone, here on the Alabama Gang Super Stretch, or the backstretch here at Talladega Super Speedway. When they exit out of turn number 2, as Dave was mentioning, they have a lot of room to work. This backstretch is 4,000 feet long, and the lanes that these drivers have available to them, they can go 4, maybe even 5 wide. They just can't go below the double yellow line. That is the out-of-bounds line this afternoon for these drivers. Just like on the highway, you cannot pass or advance your position by ducking below it. So they'll have to keep it above that double yellow line. We have seen a lot of fantastic passes that have been made at the backstretch over the years. However, as Dave also mentioned, we've seen a lot of hard crashes, especially as drivers jostle for position, trying to make their way down this long straightaway and set up to go into turn number 3. I'll cover it all here on the backstretch this afternoon.
Then they'll climb the banking of turns 3 and 4, 33 degrees of banking over there as well. In just a bit, we'll have Carmel, Indiana's Chris Wilner out there to call the action for us. Mike Bagley not with us here this weekend. He's a bit under the weather. Mike, if you're listening, we know you are. Hope you're feeling better, buddy, and can't wait to get you back to the racetrack real soon. As the trucks make their way down the pit road right now to make sure their tachometers are set where it needs to be. Christopher Bell, Talladega, you almost as a driver, next lap I turn here in a race vehicle will be my first, but I would get the sense that you guys can get a bit falsely lulled in here, racing 2, 3, 4 wide around this track. But when it's time to come to pit road, what are the challenges of now saying, okay, A, I got to find some teams to help me out. B, I got to get to the bottom of the track. And C, I got a signal behind me to let everybody know. That's kind of been a bit of a topic of conversation as of late.
It sure has. You do not want to be hitting the brakes if you're on the other side of that yellow line. You got to make sure. And then here at Talladega, there's plenty of room to be able to get to the track left, hit the brakes, and get to pit road under control. Now, doing it or saying it and doing it is two different things, but certainly you've got to have friends whenever you come to pit road. You're not going to come here and pit by yourself and be successful. So navigating the traffic of braking, decelling, hitting your pit road speed, super critical here.
What are the challenges once you get below that yellow line? Is it bumpy? Are there different lanes? What are the challenges for you there?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And one of the biggest challenges that we've had over the last couple of years is weepers. I think the weather's been pretty good here, at least today, but I know there is rain in the forecast for Sunday. So whenever you get they do a really good job making sure that the track's dry, but certainly whenever you get below that yellow line, there can be some wet spots. The track does get pretty rough the further left you get. And sometimes it's advantageous to get way over there in those bumps. To find that clean air, you just have to navigate those bumps and not lock up your tires going across them.
Getting set to go here this afternoon at the Talladega Superspeedway. We'll see how all of that unfolds here over the course of the next 85 laps. The Love's RV Stop 225, race number 23 of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series season. Race 2 in the round of playoffs. Then there's one driver out here today that can breathe a little easier. That is Corey Heim, who won at the Charlotte Oval just 2 weeks ago. He has locked his way into Phoenix in 2 weeks' time. Everybody else set to go for the start of this one. Gio Ruggiero, Ty Majeski, Corey Heim, Matt Crafton make up the front 2 rows. The pace vehicle on the pit lane. And with the start of this afternoon's race, Goldsboro, North Carolina's Alex Hayden.
As the field makes their way into the Tri-Oval, the start-finish line is just past the Tri-Oval. Here they come. Green flag goes in the air, and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is underway at Talladega. Through the gearbox they go, headed to turn 1.
Gio Ruggiero, pole sitter on the inside line, gets a good shove down low from Corey Heim. That'll push Gio out to the lead. Heim, for the moment at least, will ride in the number 2 spot. Outside line, trying to get themselves organized as they exit off to the back straightaway.
The first driver on that outside lane is Ty Majeski. His F-150 checks his mirror. He's got Matt Crafton snuggled up behind him. The lead duo, though, is Gio Ruggiero and Corey Heim to turn 3 for the first time.
First time in the north end of the racetrack. Here comes
of the racetrack. Single file, front 4 go at the right to the double yellow line to driver's left. Can't go below that and advance your position. That's considered out of bounds here at Talladega. Constitutes a pass-through penalty. Down to the Tri-Oval they come. Up front, leading the way, pole winner Gio Ruggiero. He's got his Tricon Garage truck at the front of the field. His teammate Corey Heim tucked in behind him.
So far, teamwork has been the order of the day. They are lined up on the bottom of the racetrack, riding 1 and 2. Third spot right now belongs to Caden Honeycutt, driving for Stuart Friesen and Halmar Friesen Racing.
Caden Honeycutt again holding that position right behind the machine of Corey Heim. Heim runs in the second position. The leader is Gio Ruggiero. Halfway down the backstretch, setting up for turn 3. Ben Rhodes has moved to 4th, and Brett Holmes round out your top 5.
Top half dozen trucks or so have singled out at the bottom of the racetrack over in turn number 4. Gio Ruggiero, the leader, getting the shove from Corey Heim on lap number 1 to take the lead. Caden Honeycutt, Ben Rhodes, Brett Holmes, the top 5 as they are snuggled up right on the bottom double yellow line here in the tri-oval to complete lap number 2. Top 12 trucks, single file. They go 2 and 3 wide mid-pack. That's where we find Matt Crafton, who has really lost a lot of spots in the opening 2 laps.
Crafton has absolutely plummeted from a pretty decent qualifying spot in the top 7 or 8. He has plummeted back outside the top 20 as everybody up front hunkers down at the bottom of the racetrack.
Matt Crafton right now going nowhere. He has finally been able to find some room on the inside lane. However, it is way outside of the top 10. They're single file in the top 12 to 3.
Back down to the bottom side of the racetrack again. It looks like about the top dozen or 15 trucks, that is. Right now, nose to tailgate, Christopher Bell in a truck. Why is it the bottom side of the racetrack as opposed to sometimes we see it at the top side?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that those guys in the back trying to make it 3 wide, and they're dumping all of that air on the middle row, slowing the middle row down, and making the bottom prevail.
Talked about Matt Crafton fading just a bit. Started 4th. It is now outside of the top 15. One driver coming to the front, Lane Riggs, up to the top 20 after starting at tail end.
We expected him to move forward. He's not wasted any time in doing so. Still got a lot of work to do, though, in that second line to the super stretch.
He does indeed, Dave. Lane Riggs, again, just trying to move forward after starting at the back of the pack. Lane Riggs right now has got a bunch of traffic ahead of him, though. He's got nowhere to go.
Here they are, right down at the bottom of the track again. They begin to shuffle up about midway back there. But, Todd, we continue to play. Where's the strategy going to play? What are we going to do? We got trucks now begin to spin up off turn number 4. Coming towards pit road, 3 trucks. Grant Enfinger is one of the drivers involved. He's got significant damage to the nose of that yellow and black Champion Power Equipment Chevrolet. Everybody else taking evasive action. Luke Finhouse may have gotten a piece of that as well. Kyle Rickey, it happened coming off turn number 4 when you leave that transition and get back onto the flat.
Grant Enfinger, the first truck to get out of shape off of turn number 4, got sideways, came back across in front of traffic. Jake Garcia also suffering some damage. He has made his way onto the pit lane after getting some contact off of turn number 4 as Grant Enfinger, the first truck to get turned off of the corner, Alex Hayden, and unfortunately collect Jake Garcia as we'll go under the caution flag for the first time here today, just 4 laps in at Talladega.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Inspiring story.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just a pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, the road to royalty, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Well, it didn't take long for a playoff driver to find trouble here at the Talladega Superspeedway on lap number 4. A bump draft gone bad off of the corner when Chandler Smith came into contact with Grant Enfinger, sending that truck into a spin and into Jake Garcia. Both of those trucks are now on the pit lane. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
From legendary races to heart-pounding finishes, NASCAR Channel is your 24/7 pit stop for all things NASCAR. Streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world's greatest drivers. Dive into the NASCAR culture with shows about the cars, the teams, and the personalities that make it America's most exciting motorsport. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Start streaming now on Tubi.
Hi,
this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
I do think that if you're always are scared to make the big moves, you're just always going to be following the person that did.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
Reddick slides up the racetrack. Briscoe gets away off turn 4.
And in-depth breakdowns of the latest NASCAR news and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
Add Ty Majeski to the list of trucks with damage. He is also on the pit lane in one of the 8 playoff contenders involved in the first incident of the afternoon on lap number 4. That started, Brad Gilly, when Grant Enfinger got out of shape off of turn number 4 in front of a good chunk of the field.
Yeah, in front of a big chunk of the field. In fact, there's a big chunk of the nose of that truck that's coming off right now. Heavy front end damage for Grant Enfinger. And right now what they're saying, they need to move the radiator over. They're leaking a little bit of water. They're going to try and do a bypass here, but they said they're not leaking oil, but he's already lost the right front fender. He's going to lose the left front fender. They're hoping to keep the hood on the truck, and after that incident happened, Grant Enfinger came counter race down pit road. He's actually pointed toward turn 4 in the first pit stall as you enter pit road. Heavy damage for this playoffs driver. Jason Toy.
Well, one of those guys in the playoffs that we got to talk about is Ty Majeski. Damage on the left front fender. That front of that nose Ford F-150's pushed back in. They had to pull it back out, put some heavy tape on it. The downfall is where he came off the banking, it pushed the nose up off the racetrack. So, but they want to have that nose down to the front side of the racetrack. It is up high, so it's not going to be handling the way that he wants. Parker Kligerman on pit road. Jack stand up underneath the left front. They've gone underneath to adjust the suspension. How about in front of you, Steve Post?
Jake Garcia was in a lot of damage. The nose, they've taken the whole bumper cover off from that automobile, sent him back on the racetrack so he doesn't lose a lap. Watched also Lane Riggs brought his truck down. Looked like some routine pit work on it, but a little bit long on the left side as they worked on an adjustment on the truck, just trying to get Lane Riggs' truck ready to go. Put on 4 tires, and they made sure they had Sunoco Racing fuel all plugged into the Lane Riggs truck.
So those are some of the pit stops down here and some of the drivers that have damage right off the bat. So Todd Gordon, crew chief of Grant Enfinger's truck down there, what do you need to do right now? What types of things do you need to accomplish as you're one of the playoff contenders to try to get back out there and at least maximize what you can?
Yeah, just trying to make sure you can make minimum speed. And when you come off this, you're going to be a lap or 2 down through this caution here. If you can get it to the point where we can get attached to the pack for the restart, that way we can may have our best shot at minimum speed, and then we can continue to work on the truck the rest of the day.
Former Talladega winner Parker Kligerman also making his way back out onto the racetrack after this round of pit stops, along with Daniel Hemrick, another one of the title contenders, currently 3rd in the playoff standings, just 2 to the good. Found himself on the pit lane here under this caution as cleanup continues here on the front straightaway after the multi-truck incident off of turn number 4, started by Grant Enfinger, who remains on the pit lane and now multiple laps off of the lead lap.
So how do you change your focus, and how do you rechange your line of thinking, Christopher, now if you're a playoff driver like a Grant Enfinger and get wiped out coming up off turn 4 on lap number 4?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not a comforting feeling, that's for sure. I was just looking at the big screen and seeing how quickly the points change. We had, 7 cars within 5 points to start the race, and now the spread is huge. So inside the car, you just have to focus on the task at hand. Your day is, not off to a good start if you're Grant Enfinger or Ty Majeski, but focusing on trying to get your truck fixed up, like Todd mentioned, keeping the back of the pack, and I think the yellow flags, you'll be able to get some laps back if you have pace in your vehicle.
How tough will it be to stay in the draft with some of the damage that we've seen?
Well, fortunately, being at Talladega, you don't need a ton of downforce in the car, so you can get away with some damage if the drag doesn't keep you from keeping up the pack. And it looks like Grant is going back to the garage.
Yeah, tough break for Grant Enfinger, Todd.
But even when you look at it for Ty Majeski, who had to put tape on the front fender, the spoiler on these trucks is so big, the hole that they blow in the air is so big, you can get in the draft with damage on a fender like that and still maintain pace, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about like a track at an intermediate where you're focused on every ounce of downforce, that damage would be basically day ending. But a place like Talladega, as long as you can stay in that draft, you're going to be able to have a good finish out of it.
Coming to green this time as Daniel Hemrick is back on the pit lane for a second time, Steve Post.
Right front damage is where they're working on Daniel Hemrick's Chevy Silverado as they work up under that automobile and make sure that they have got it smooth on the other side. The right side is flattened up pretty good on the truck. He's steering the wheel back and forth as Kevin Bellancourt, the crew chief, telling him to make sure that the toe feels good, make sure the steering feels good. I think they're all right on that, but they do have right side damage on the Daniel Hemrick truck. So another playoff driver having a problem early here at Talladega. There he goes, back out onto the speedway.
He is going to maintain pit road speed until he gets to the yellow line, which means you can go hammer down from there. But all by yourself, you're going to get gobbled up rather quickly as he accelerates as the pace truck makes its way on to pit road. We still got to stay at pace vehicle speed until we get to the restart zone, Kyle, which is right here in the middle of the tri-oval.
Gio Ruggiero will lead the inside lane. Ben Rhodes, top of the racetrack as they come off of the tri-oval and back onto the front straightaway. Green flag is up. We resume on lap number 9 with Ruggiero showing the way as they come up to speed in turn 1.
Into the banking of turn number 1, and Gio Ruggiero, as he did on the initial start, manages to sneak away by a truck length or so. That'll leave the battle for second. On the inside, it's Corey Heim. On the outside, Ben Rhodes. Up the track goes Ruggiero to block Rhodes.
Wow, what a move by Gio Ruggiero, coming off the bottom lane and going up to the outside lane to block Ben Rhodes. Now halfway down the straightaway, Ruggiero steps to the left and goes back down to the bottom to block Corey Heim in turn 3.
Gio Ruggiero leading that inside lane, but a strong move on the outside here in turns 3 and 4 for Ben Rhodes. He's got Raja Karut tucked up under the back deck lid as they're side by side off the turn number 4 down the front straightaway.
2 rows of 2 as they thunder their way back to the tri-oval here at the Talladega Superspeedway on a sun-drenched Friday late afternoon. The bottom side of the racetrack again begins to get the advantage. Ruggiero, at least by half a truck length, has the advantage.
Low line is a little bit quicker here in the early going. We'll see. Oh, now they're into the wall again. Up and into the outside wall, and that may be the Lane Riggs machine. Riggs, the championship contender, got squeezed up into the outside wall. He's got a major tire rub on the left front corner as he got squeezed up into the fence by Connor Mosack, who is now limping down on the apron after spinning sideways midway between 1 and 2.
And somehow those are the only 2 trucks involved in the incident over in turn number 1 when Lane Riggs, Dave, first truck to get out of shape, may have been some contact with the Connor Mosack truck.
Yeah, I think that's pretty likely that there was some contact there because everybody was lined up pretty straight and true going 2 by 2 into turn 1 and 2. So Lane Riggs, whose afternoon started at the tail end of the pack, he had erased half of that deficit, but now he's got big problems and he'll be due on pit road.
As Lane Riggs will limp that machine all the way back around the racetrack. We'll follow up in his pit in just a moment.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
We welcome you back here to Talladega Super Speedway. Pit lane is open. A handful of trucks are electing to come in. Chandler Smith is in. They're going to give that truck a once-over. He's been some bumper cars out there on the racetrack here in the early laps. Top him off with Sunoco fuel. Steve Postmore, trucks in front of you.
Yeah, Matt Crafton is in. Going to be the attention of the crew. They're going to work on it with a chassis adjustment. You guys have, my gosh, a chassis adjustment. That was about 6 rounds. We're going to need rotator cuff surgery on that crew member there. Man, they really put an adjustment to it. That truck really dropped back. Of note down here was Lane Riggs was in the last time by. Of course, he was involved in that. Lane cued the radio and said, why are we pushing so hard in the middle of the corners? Left side damage on that truck. They feel like they've got it pulled out off from the wheels in good shape. Lane just radioed into Dylan Capella, the crew chief. Truck feels good, so I think they're going to be all right. They feel pretty good about it, but Lane Riggs, a rough start to the day here at Talladega. Jason Toy?
A couple of different strategies going on. You have drivers that are in the playoffs that are trying to get max points, and you got drivers like Gio Ruggiero, who started this thing on the pole. He's going to try to finish up things in the front spot, so a little different sequence. Gave up the lead. They came in 3 seconds of fuel only. They were able to get him down and away. Also, Ty Majeski back in to continue to work on the left front of that Ford F-150, and it was a Toyota Tundra of Brett Holmes that made its way in. First 4-tire stop we've seen in the middle section of pit road, and it topped off with Sunoco fuel.
Tony Breidinger also making a stop under this caution, along with Brett Holmes, who is making his first start of the 2025 season, both on the pit lane and along with some other trucks there that are still repairing some damage from a couple of incidents, Alex, that have really affected the playoff drivers in the first 11 laps of this event here in Talladega.
4, exactly 50% of our 8 playoff drivers have had some problems here today, some far more significant than others. And right now, Grant Enfinger, who's behind the wall, is 39 points out with Martinsville Speedway coming up next week. Ty Majeski with problems. He's 34 points down. Daniel Hemrick's issues have him 32 points outside of the top 4. And Lane Riggs, after this latest incident, is now 22 points outside. Todd, we started this race where 2nd through 8th were separated by 5 points.
And 4 people, 4 trucks already 11 laps into this race have had contact or issues, been to pit road. A couple of those trucks, I think, can recover their day and work their way forward, but it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
4 trucks on the pit lane, make that 5. Lane Riggs back down on the pit lane for the second time, along with Greg Van Alst, Tony Breidinger, Jake Garcia, Connor Mosak, who was involved in the incident up in turn number 1 a couple laps ago, continuing to put that truck back together, along with the 34 of Lane Riggs, as I mentioned a moment ago, making the second stop in as many laps.
Well, Tony's going to change all 4 tires, her team is, on her truck. She got busted for speeding the first time down where they did Sunoco fuel only, but this time might as well go ahead and bolt on 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles since she had to go to the back of the field anyway in that black and white coach entry that Tony Breidinger is driving here this weekend. As Lane Riggs, again, another pit stop there. Again, did not get to qualify because of an unapproved adjustment while the truck was on the qualifying grid this morning. They had to pull that truck out of line, push it back. Big question mark now looms as we wait for NASCAR to digest this and go over it. Will they lose their opportunity to pick their pit next week? Trucks pick a week in advance. Next week at Martinsville Speedway, if you lose your opportunity to pick that pit box, Todd, that could be a bummer.
Yeah, that's of all the places I want to pick, that's one very narrow pit road, very tight, being the corners on either end. I'd like to pick my box and know who I've got around me. It might be a penalty for these guys if they can't pick next week.
Field is doubled up in their rows of two. They're in front of Chris Wilner as we are set for the restart here in Talladega.
Yeah, the front row behind that Chevrolet Silverado pace truck as Corey Heim will opt the inside lane in his Toyota Tundra to his outside. Raja Caruth in the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet with Ben Rhodes on the inside of row 2 and Corey LaJoie on the outside.
That's the voice of Chris Wilner in turn 4. Tim Catalfamo is on the Alabama Gang Super Stretch. Dave Moody in turns 1 and 2. Steve Post, Jason Toy, Brad Gilley up and down the pit lane with Todd Gordon, NASCAR Cup Series driver Christopher Bell, Kyle, Ricky, and myself, Alex Hayden, as we get set, Kyle, for yet another restart.
Corey Heim to the inside of the racetrack. Once again, gets the jump and a big shove from Ben Rhodes. Raja Caruth leads the outside lane as they come up to speed and race to the banking of turn 1.
Here they come into turn number 1 to see if they can get a little rhythm under their belts here and turn some laps without another problem at the front of the pack. Yeah, Corey Heim likes it just fine. He's got drafting help and a big lead as he makes his way off turn 2.
Corey Heim is the race leader out of turn number 2. The truck that is pushing him in the rearview mirror is the Ben Rhodes F-150. Here comes the outside lane now, starting to make a move on the leader. That's where Raja Caruth and Corey LaJoie ride in 3.
Raja got a huge shot into the turn 3 section of the racetrack, but now he's going to have to fall back and try to link up with Corey LaJoie as the inside lane. Now with the momentum off turn 4, it's Corey Heim, full truck length ahead of the field.
Corey Heim now leading here at Talladega Superspeedway. First time in his Truck Series career he's led laps here at Talladega. The wounded truck of Jake Garcia is up against the outside wall. Lead draft 2 rows deep, thunders by.
Garcia gives way to the high side, and the pack will make its way past him without wasting any time at all. It continues to be Corey Heim at the front of the field. Side-by-side battle for second as Raja Caruth tries to make the move on Ben Rhodes.
Ben Rhodes against the double yellow line in lockstep formation behind the race leader, Corey Heim. Raja Caruth, meanwhile, up on the outside lane, inching forward, trying to go for the lead.
Tailgate to tailgate at the front of the field as Corey Heim leads that inside lane, keeping an eye on Parker Kligerman, the hard charge from the mid-pack, trying to crack the top 10. First car on the outside lane, way back in the field, but it's still Corey Heim leading the field off 4.
Kligerman right now in the 12th position as they come off of turn number 4. At the front, it is Corey Heim all by himself at the front of the field. The side-by-side racing begins from second on back. You have Raja Caruth leading the outside lane. Second truck on the bottom is Ben Rhodes.
Here they come into turns 1 and 2. Rhodes with the advantage by about a half a truck length. Raja Caruth continuing to fight on the outside. And yes, indeed, the 3-wide line beginning to formulate courtesy of Parker Kligerman.
Parker Kligerman is there. Luke Fenhouse also part of that third lane that is now starting to form up against the safer barrier. Halfway down the back stretch into turn 3, it's still Heim, the race leader.
It is, and that 3-wide lane starting to creep even closer to the front of the field as Luke Fenhouse finds himself on the outside, just outside the top 10. Tyler Ankrum in the middle as they fan out off of turn number 4. Still Corey Heim leading Ben Rhodes.
Yes, Corey Heim leading here at Talladega. You know, he's led at least one lap in every single race this season. It's never been done before, a driver to lead at least one lap in every race of an entire season. Let's go to the Infield Care Center to Brad Gilley.
Grant Enfinger out of the Infield Care Center. We don't know the impact of what the points are going to be just yet. There's still some racing to go and trucks out there, but I know this was an opportunity one for you, having won here before. What can you tell us about what happened on the racetrack?
Yeah, just got up in the outside line, was kind of hoping for a push from Chandler and tried to line myself up square, and I think he was getting hit from behind, and he was crossed up when he hit me, and that turned me left, and then I still thought I was going to save it, and then he hit me again. I think somebody was driving into him, and just one of those Talladega deals. It's unfortunate because, I mean, we weren't really good and going yet. So, appreciate all my guys at CR7 Motorsports. It's been a little bit of a rough year, but the guys dug hard. They were trying to get us back out there. Just wouldn't hold oil, wouldn't hold water. So, yeah, unfortunate end, but our job's pretty simple next week.
All right, tough early exit for Grant Enfinger.
We'll finish 36th here this afternoon as we have a new leader up in turn number 2.
Here they come off turn 2, bottom of the racetrack. Raja Caruth shows the way as he drops down in front of Corey Heim.
Nice move by Raja Caruth. He was able to get that outside lane going, and he's able to grab the lead away from Corey Heim. Heim shoved up right behind his tailgate, pushing him back to the corner.
Here they come into turns 3 and 4. Raja Caruth about a half truck length lead over Corey Heim, side by side for third as the outside lane lane, tries to get formed back up. That's Corey LaJoie leading the charge there with, how about this, J.J. Yaley trying to help his Fire teammate.
And one of the challenges we've seen on this outside line, Christopher Bell talked about this earlier, to at least to us. We've seen Lane Riggs making aggressive moves. That outside line, when you go 3 wide, you start to slow that outside line back, and just it takes the momentum out of that second group.
I've been watching Lane, and he's gotten all the way up to 11th at one point, and he keeps trying to go to the outside and losing everything he's done. So it's not going to be long before he figures it out, but making some mistakes here early.
But how difficult, Christopher, is it as a driver knowing you got a pretty good and fast truck and you want to go to the front, you just can't?
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys had some jitters whenever we started the race. We saw, a lot of aggressive moves on the early stages that caused some incidents. So it looks like everyone's starting to get settled out here and taking it a little bit easy coming to the closing of stage 1.
And keep in mind, no practice for any of the 3 NASCAR series here at Talladega this weekend, and that could factor in from some of the action that we have seen in the first 19 laps. Coming to the completion of the 19th circuit, 1 lap to go here in stage number 1. It is Rajah Caruth that brings the field into the corner.
Caruth trying to hold that bottom line. He has not ventured up off the yellow line since he took the lead and crossed over to the low line. He's got the lead with Heim right on his back bumper. Up the outside, here comes Corey LaJoie.
Corey LaJoie trying to get that second lane moving, and they are making progress. Here comes Corey LaJoie with a nice shove behind him, courtesy of J.J. Yaley. They're going to the lead.
The 2 Spire teammates have linked up here on this final lap of stage number 1, but Rajah Caruth strong on the bottom side of the racetrack. Chevrolet front row, side by side, off of turn 4. Rajah Caruth by nose. Here comes Corey LaJoie.
LaJoie in the middle of the racetrack, which is the second lane. He is dead even right now with the inside lane, which is being pulled by Rajah Caruth. Green and white checkered flag will go in the air. Stage number 1 will belong to Rajah Caruth here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Top 10 will get championship points. It's Rajah Caruth that wins the stage. Corey LaJoie finishes second. Corey Heim will be third. J.J. Yaley fourth and Ben Rhodes fifth. Caden Honeycutt is sixth. Tyler Ankrum seventh. You had Dawson Sutton in eighth. Gio Ruggiero ninth. And Daniel Hemrick with a damaged race truck from an earlier crash gets a stage point in 10th.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day 1. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Relive the thrills of over 50 years of NASCAR racing with the Motor Racing Network's Classic Race.
36th Annual Southern 500. They come down to the start-finish line. Bill Elliott and David Pearson get down.
We dig into the MRN audio vault for unforgettable races and moments.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500.
Available on MRN.com and podcast platforms.
Alan Kulwicki out of turn number 4, the new Winston Cup champion. He does it across the line.
MRN Classic Races.
Take a moment now and join the entire Toyota and motorsport community in the morning of the Toyota Motorsports pioneer, Les Unger, passed away earlier this week. Les was a passionate, innovative leader of Toyota's motorsport efforts for decades. He guided the successful early racing involvement in many series, including IndyCar, IMSA, off-road racing, and the Toyota Atlantic Series, all while supporting the entrance into NASCAR with Toyota. Les Unger, missed by everyone here in the world of NASCAR. From Talladega Super Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Wheelan Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Whelen Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Streaming device and start watching today.
The Motor Racing Network and Ally Bank have partnered to honor motorsports. This week, we highlight ARCA Menard Series driver Isabella Robusto for her contributions in motorsports.
For me, I always loved engineering and designing things, and especially like 3D printing and CAD and all of that. And I felt like aerospace kind of covered a little bit of all, and it was really good for kind of the racing side, especially working with the engineers week in and week out on the simulators, at the shop, whatever it might be. And so I feel like it just helps kind of with the terminology with them, but also it's just something that I want to have as a college degree too.
The Motor Racing Network honoring women in motorsports was brought to you by Ally Bank. No matter what you are saving for, whether it be race tickets, a car, or a new home, you need the bank that's your ally. Ally Bank, member FDIC.
Back here at the Talladega Superspeedway on a beautiful late Friday afternoon, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing here on the NASCAR Racing Network. It has been eventful here in the opening stage. We're 22 laps into it. 4 of the 8 playoff drivers have been involved in an accident. Grant Enfinger is out of the race. Then you've got drivers like Daniel Hemrick, who's got damage but was able to rally up and get stage points. Ty Majeski having his problems. Lane Riggs as well, but those drivers, too, able to soldier on in today's race, Kyle.
And a couple of those drivers have been able to climb back up through the field, even with the damage. You mentioned Daniel Hemrick finishing stage number 1 in the 10th spot, getting that 1 stage point at the end of lap number 20. Lane Riggs just missed out, having to come from the tail end of the field, finishing stage number 1 in 12th. Pit road is open, and I guess the big question is, will there be any takers here as we get set to get underway with stage number 2, now working the 3rd lap at that stage 23 here in the race.
With so many cautions and caution flag laps early in today's race, that may bring some strategy into play. Here come some of those leaders, however, peeling off the racetrack. We start our coverage with Brad Gilley.
Corey LaJoie, the first one in on my section of pit road. Chad Walters said, save your tires when you come in. They didn't change them. Fuel only for Corey LaJoie. He's down and away. Jason Toy.
Ben Rhodes is in. They're going to go 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. Dawson Sutton with a good run of the top 10. He stops in, fuel only. Also making a stop, it is Parker Kligerman. They work with the right side of that race truck right now. Top it off with Sunoco fuel. Steve Post.
Fuel only for stage 1 winner Raja Caruth, and Kevin Bono Manion said make sure it's full of fuel. Going right side tires, all the fuel possible in the Corey Heim truck. Also getting service here was playoff driver Tyler Ankrum. He went fuel only as well. These pit stops at the end of stage number 1.
Raja Caruth first off the pit lane. Corey LaJoie, Caden Honeycutt, Connor Mosak, Tyler Ankrum, the top 5 off of pit road, but not everybody stopped. We'll reset the field when we come back to Talladega.
DIYers, ever start a project thinking that this'll be quick, only for it to be anything but? We've all been there, and that's why you need Craftsman, DIYers' most trusted brand. Craftsman's V20 battery works across drills, saws, trimmers, mowers, and over 100 other products from the house to the backyard and beyond. No dead stops, no refuels, just grab, swap, and get it done. Because your project might fight back, but your tools shouldn't. Head to Craftsman.com to learn more. Craftsman, build on.
NASCAR Live isn't just Tuesday nights. On Thursday, we go wide open with some of the sport's biggest legends.
Dover's so good that even concrete couldn't ruin it.
And some of NASCAR's rising stars.
I don't like getting drove in the back of, and I honestly don't like doing it, but you're not buddy-buddy with everybody, and I've had to learn that.
NASCAR Live Wide Open has you covered from the rookie class all the way to the Hall of Fame. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hello?
Hey, it's your man tank again. I just talked to the taste buds. We're all worried about you, Tim.
What do you mean? I love eating veggies. The crunch, I've never felt better.
You sure?
I think so.
You're really sure?
Yeah, man. Seriously.
You're not doing this to me, Tim. You're doing this to us. Just rip open some jerky, all right? Jack Link's Beef Jerky, official meat snack of NASCAR. Feed your wild side.
You've never been one to idly watch someone else do something for you. There's pride in self-reliance, in working with your hands, in harnessing the power of an E3 spark plug with Diamond Fire technology, yielding better engine performance. You have a choice to make. Take control of your ride, of your life, or be the passenger princess of it. Visit e3sparkplugs.com to put the power in your hands.
Post as we continue under this third caution of the afternoon. We saw Daniel Hemrick on the pit lane a lap or so ago.
Yeah, and he's going to come back down again and get left side tires on it. They had that right front damage, Chief, and he just runs a really tight ship here for this team. And they feel like that the performance was good. He raced back up to a 10th place run at the end of stage number 1, but now they're massaging up under the wheel well of the right front of that car there, that right front of that truck. They put a bunch of duct tape up there, making sure that they've got good clearance on the panels and everything else. This time it's just maintenance here, checking on it one more time as Daniel's gone out and created another lap, make sure they got good clearance on the right front, putting left side tires on this truck as well. So Daniel Hemrick, the truck performs well, but they want it to do better than perform well, and they're massaging on that right front. Now they continue to work on it. This is actually taking a little longer than I suspected with the conversation as they continue to work on the right side of the Daniel Hemrick truck.
Yeah, they're working on the right rear there. And with these steel-bodied trucks, having that pushed in, they're so tight to the tires anymore. Anything you can get tire rubs out of that, sure, they're just making sure everything's in as good a position as it can be aerodynamically and clearance-wise on that 19 truck of Daniel Hemrick.
He's leaving his pit stop or pit box right now, and just in front of the field that comes into the tri-oval, so he'll make his way to the tail end of the field for the restart. Let's tell you where your favorite driver is running as the field is getting set to go for stage number 2, 1 lap from now. J.J. Yaley shown as the race leader over Gio Ruggiero in second, Jack Wood in third, Lane Riggs fourth, and Tanner Gray fifth, Luke Fenhouse in the 6th spot, then Chandler Smith in 7th, Brett Holmes 8th, Tony Breidinger 9th, and Spencer Boyd up and into the top 10.
Running 11th is Rajah Caruth, 12th is Corey LaJoy, 13th is Caden Honeycutt, 14th is Connor Mozak, Tyler Ankrum is 15th, Ben Rhodes is 16th, and Corey Himes 17th. Matt Crafton 18th. 19th is Chris Wright, and Parker Kligerman is 20th.
Caleb Costner will restart 21st, Norm Benning 22nd, Frankie Muniz in 23rd, Nathan Bird in 24th, and Jason White 25th. Matt Mills will go from the 26th position. Ty Majeski will restart back in the 27th spot. Andres Perez de Lara in 28th, Dawson Sutton in 29th, and Tyler Tomasi in 30th.
31st is Greg Van Alst. 32nd is Josh Rayum. 33rd is Bailey Curry. Daniel Hemrick, last truck on the lead lap. He's back in 34th after the extended pit stop stay here under this caution flag. 2 laps down in 35th with a heavily damaged truck is Jake Garcia. 1 truck being scored out of the race, and it's a playoff driver. Finishing 36 today after a crash on lap 4 is Grant Enfinger.
One of 4 playoff drivers involved in contact in the opening stage of this event. Talked about Grant Enfinger. Will finish last here this afternoon. Was 7th in the standings coming into today. Ty Majeski also had damage in that lap 4 incident, as did Daniel Hemrick. Then a couple laps following the restart on lap 9, Lane Riggs got into the wall up in turn number 1 to put us under the caution for the second time here today. Both Riggs and Hemrick have been able to continue and have done well, finishing in the top 12 in stage 1.
Christopher Bell is joining us here today on the broadcast. Christopher, tracks are all different, we know that. But as a driver, when it's time to choose what lane to restart in, and we'll go with where we're at here at Talladega, how much thought process goes into which lane you want to restart in?
You're picking with your friends or the shortest line, whatever you're feeling most confident with.
And we'll see how hard it is for these drivers to find their friends over the closing laps of this event. Still a long way to go. We are underway in stage 2. J.J. Yaley, Gio Ruggiero inside and out, and the outside lane gets a big shove by Lane Riggs. That'll propel Ruggiero to the front of the field as they go to turn number 1.
We're going to get a very quick opportunity to see just how damaged, if at all, the Lane Riggs machine is. He is second in the outside row and pushing Gio Ruggiero.
Riggs in his yellow F-150 continues to bump draft as he is working his way down the back straightaway following Gio Ruggiero. Ruggiero is the leader. He changes lanes, goes down to the bottom. Riggs goes with him. They go to 3.
And that inside lane now pulling away with the move from Gio Ruggiero and Lane Riggs. Meanwhile, they're side by side for third. They left Luke Fenhouse out to dry. He needs some drafting help. Has Chandler Smith behind him, but the top 3 are single file.
Fenhouse is leading the charge in that second lane to driver's right up off the double yellow line where everybody tries to huddle up right now. Ruggiero, 1 pole position this morning in qualifying. He's got the race lead, and he's got a tailgate full of Lane Riggs.
Utilized a strategy of coming early to pit road to top off that fuel tank, and he's made his way back into the lead. Riggs on the bottom goes to second. 3 wide now, up the outside, trying to take the third spot away is Chandler Smith.
And Chandler Smith didn't have any drafting help, and he is now going to go backwards as he has been left out in the breeze. The leaders, though, race to 3.
The proverbial parachute out for the Chandler Smith machine, desperately in need of some help, but he is third outside lane and going all the way to the back of the lead group. Meanwhile, back up front, Gio Ruggiero in lockstep behind him is Lane Riggs and J.J. Yaley are top 3.
Chandler Smith, 5th a lap ago, will fall outside of the top 20, perhaps the top 25 before he gets in the line. Last truck in the outside lane. At the front, though, it's Gio Ruggiero showing the way. He is all by himself at the point. Then it's Lane Riggs and Luke Fenhouse, 2nd and 3rd.
Fenhouse has the advantage by about a half a truck length as he runs that second groove. Down low is Lane Riggs, glued to the double yellow line. They are wheel to wheel.
Here they come out of turn number 2, fighting for that second spot behind the leader, Gio Ruggiero. Luke Fenhouse in the middle of the racetrack right now. He's got drafting help from Raja Caruth. Here comes Fenhouse trying to go for the lead in turn 3.
That's where the energy Tim Catalfamo is into turn number 3 as Fenhouse gets a shot now to pull up to the right side door of Gio Ruggiero. Neck and neck for the top spot, and they're 2 by 2 all the way inside the top 10.
They make their way up off turn 4, back to the tri-oval here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Luke Fenhouse at the front of the field on the outside lane, the 21-year-old from Wausau, Wisconsin, hometown from the great Dave Marcus. He's at the front of the field.
Stepping lively in that outside groove, trying to wrestle the lead away, but not quite able to do it. He drops back about a half a truck length, tries to rally the troops again as they race to the backstretch.
They're still side by side for the race lead. Luke Fenhouse again in that middle lane with drafting help from Raja Caruth. Gio Ruggiero against the double yellow line with drafting help from Lane Riggs. It's Ruggiero the leader by a half a truck length.
That was a huge shot to the tail tank for Gio Ruggiero by Lane Riggs. That puts him out clean in front by about a truck length ahead of Lane Riggs. Riggs riding in second. They're side by side for fourth as Luke Fenhouse gets a shot from Raja Caruth.
That outside lane fading just a bit, led by Luke Fenhouse, making his first ever start here at the Talladega Superspeedway in anything, running toward the front of the field, has drafting help from Raja Caruth as he races for the second spot with Lane Riggs to his inside.
So far, so good for Luke Fenhouse in his maiden voyage here at Talladega, but he's got his hands full of Lane Riggs. Riggs continues to run right down on the yellow line. He leads by a radiator cap off 2.
And right behind Lane Riggs, third in line on the bottom side of the racetrack, that is the J.J. Yaley Chevrolet Silverado. Yaley has got Jack Wood and Tanner Gray lined up behind him. That's the top 5 on the bottom.
Yaley doing a nice job sitting that third row on the inside, trying to push Lane Riggs to the front of this field. Lane Riggs is side by side for second as Luke Fenhouse continues to lead the charge with Raja Caruth and Corey LaJoy on the outside.
Doing a nice job is Fenhouse there. Heard Tim Catalfamo, Todd, mention J.J. Yaley. He's the only driver in today's race that is yet to make a pit stop, and here we are clicking off lap number 31.
Yeah, if you looked at the fuel window for these trucks, I feel like there were plus or minus on the 40-lap number. With the cautions we had in Stage 1, that puts you where you can easily make this. Under caution, you'll make 2 to 3 times. Oh, we got a situation off of turn 2.
They are really stacking up, and around goes one truck spinning off of the corner into the inside wall hard, coming out of turn number 2. Heavy left front damage to that Toyota Tundra as it is working its way down the Alabama Gang super stretch. It is Brett Holmes. It looked like somebody had to roll out of the throttle coming out of turn number 2. Holmes got turned sideways and then pancaked the left side of his truck against the inside safer barrier off turn 2.
Yeah, it looked like things were getting really tight at the exit of turn 2 toward the front of the field. They were 2 and 3 wide trying to avoid, and unfortunately there was contact involving Brett Holmes, who spun that truck to the inside of the speedway and to the inside of the backstretch wall. Fourth caution of the afternoon here at Talladega.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2 by 2 by 2. They're about 10 rows deep of double-wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom. Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
NASCAR history. What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts. 50 years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Under caution for the fourth time here this afternoon for an incident over in turn number 2. Brett Holmes got out of shape off of the corner, got to the inside wall, but Steve Post, Lane Riggs, also part of the incident as he was running third at the time. He finds himself on the pit lane.
Yeah, he finds himself on the pit lane with some damage on the left front. The tire was down, and I'm not sure if it was damage out on the racetrack or wobbling around the racetrack on that tire, but now the splitter on the front of the truck has come unattached to it. So they're just basically trying to tape the splitter on the bottom grill of the truck here up on that truck, and they've got a lot of damage down here, and that's stuff that's really, really aerodynamically sensitive. So this has been a frustrating day for Lane Riggs as they continue to work on the left front of his Ford F-150.
Yeah, it looked like the left front tire let go in the middle of 1 and 2. As he exited turn 2, Lane Riggs got really tight, slid up the hill. That's kind of what caused the stack up that got Brett Holmes in this situation, seeing if they can get that back under control and back in racing shape.
Second incident of the afternoon for Lane Riggs. He is pulled off of the pit lane and will stay on the lead lap when we'll restart toward the tail end of the field. Working lap number 33 and the fourth caution of the afternoon. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Welcome to more.
Green flag is in the air.
More action. More awesome. More smoke. More sizzle. More soar. More roar. More friends. More family. Welcome to the one place where no matter who you are, you'll leave with something you'll never forget. Welcome to NASCAR.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered, NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Chris Wilner. Join me each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We'll also talk with rising stars from your favorite short track. Once again, it's NASCAR Coast to Coast. And you can watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Back at the Talladega Superspeedway, continuing under the caution flag, something that has been fairly common here this afternoon in the first 33 laps of today's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series event. Luke Fenhaus is the race leader over Gio Ruggiero, Rajah Caruth, Corey LaJoie, and Caden Honeycutt. Here's a look at who's getting it done out on the track right now, presented by Craftsman. Mid-project regret syndrome? Not on your watch. Power up your DIY game literally with a Craftsman V20 lineup. One battery system, 100-plus products, and a million reasons to build on. Learn more at craftsman.com.
Yeah, as I look at this, who's getting it done? Daniel Hemrick. And I want to say his pit crew's getting it done because they got caught up in a wreck early. They've been to pit road. They've worked on their truck. They scored stage points in stage 1. Continue to work their way forward. I'm going to say Daniel Hemrick.
Todd, it's pretty hard to ignore that 71 truck, Rajah Caruth. He has been able to capitalize on other people's mistakes. He's come in here in that super tight point battle to make it into the championship 4. He already picked up 10 stage points, winning stage 1. The one that I'm a little disappointed in is the 52 truck, Caden Honeycutt. He's had a very smooth day. He started up front. His truck's all in one piece, but he slid back a little bit there at the completion of stage 1 and let those stage points get away from him.
I'm going to go in a different direction. I like the driver right now that's being scored in the 6th spot. J.J. Yaley hasn't run in a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race in quite a long time. Jumps behind the wheel of this Spire truck. Has yet to make a pit stop. He's been in that lead draft around the top 5 at least to this point in the race every single lap, as we're 34 laps into this. I like J.J. Yaley at this point getting it done.
I like Matt Crafton. Started in the top 5, fell to the tail end of the field, and has raced his way back into the top 8. So we'll see if he can keep his truck toward the front of the field. I know he's looking for his first win in quite some time for Matt.
Let's go down to Lane Riggs' pit again. Steve Post, he's back down there, and they continue to work on the left front of that truck.
This just sounds like it's going for...
Looking for his first win in quite some time for Matt.
Let's go down to Lane Riggs' pit again. Steve Post, he's back down there, and they continue to work on the left front of that truck.
This just sounds like it's going from bad to worse, and I'm going to bring Todd Gordon in on this. Todd, they tried to tape the splitter on the left front up. Now they've just cut the splitter off from the truck. Lane also has reported that the crush panel is gone, and he can see the left front tire from the driver's seat. As the crew chief, from not only a performance standpoint, but any other standpoint, what are your concerns now as that truck goes down with half a splitter on the left front? And they did do a little bit of taping up under there, but I'm not sure how good that crush panel or what's left of it is.
Well, the piece on the splitter, I'm not terribly torn up about
it's
that.
Me, because
race cars in the past that were that left side off. I hope they got maybe a little bit bumper out of it so that left side runs a little bit lower just to seal it back up.
Whatever you're doing,
the
there's a horrible
way. The debris coming forward, I would hope that they could get that kind of sealed up a little bit in multiple stops. They've been down pit multiple times on pit road, but that one may be a little concerning. I don't know what that does aerodynamically to packing air up into the cabin of these trucks.
Also, Lane Riggs came to pit road before it was open, so he's got to start this restart at the back of the field. And then we had a driver, Bailey Curry, ran over the choose box, which is an orange box or painted inside the orange V. You got to go to driver's left or right of that when you choose what lane to restart in. He ran over the middle of it. He falls to the back as the green flag goes back in the air, and back to speed they go to turn number 1.
Here they come into turn number 1 and coming up to speed side by side for the lead at the front of the pack. Both drivers with a good deal of drafting help on their rear tailgate, getting the shove to the inside, and into the lead is Luke Fenhouse.
Luke Fenhouse again trying to hold off everyone behind him. Fenhouse is on the bottom side of the racetrack. Gio Ruggiero, though, the one with the momentum, he gets a great shove from Caden Honeycutt, goes from the middle to the bottom and is the leader.
Puts the block on the inside lane, and so Gio Ruggiero goes back to the lead here at Talladega with Luke Fenhouse in tow. Now left on the outside is Caden Honeycutt. Not a lot of help there as the 4 cars on the inside begin to pull away.
Gio Ruggiero so aggressive on the last couple of restarts, and we saw another block thrown there going into turn number 3, but it's paid off. He's the race leader. Luke Fenhouse in the 2nd spot. Rajah Caruth in 3rd. Top 3 of all singled out there, double wide behind him.
Caden Honeycutt could use a friend. He needs some drafting help in that outside lane. Help is on the way, but not until he fades back to a battle for 4th position. He's trying to pull back up now on Rajah Caruth.
Caden Honeycutt fighting strong on that 2nd lane, trying to get up where Gio Ruggiero, the race leader, is right now. Ruggiero leads. Fenhouse is 2nd. Here's Caruth jumping to the outside to race for 2nd and 3.
Rajah Caruth has shown that he could either push or be pushed, and now he rockets from the outside lane to the inside lane, and Rajah Caruth with a strong move off turn 4 will march his way to the front side by side with Gio.
Great racing here at the front of the field in the Love's RV Stop 225, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, as Parker Kligerman peels off the racetrack. He's going to make his way to pit road from the 16th running spot. The field rumbles back to turn 1.
And again, it's 2 by 2 all the way back through about the top 18, maybe 20 positions at the front of the pack. Rajah Caruth, half a truck length up on that low line, trying to hold off Gio Ruggiero.
Rajah Caruth and his blue, red, and white Chevrolet Silverado against the double yellow line. He's got Gio Ruggiero Ruggiero to his right elbow. They race wheel to wheel for the top spot at Talladega.
Top lane looks a little bit more organized this time as Gio Ruggiero will start to backpedal to link up with Caden Honeycutt, the other Toyota on the outside lane. But Raja Caruth, again, strong off the bottom side of the racetrack, with Luke Fenhouse will have a half truck length lead.
Parker Kligerman making a stop with 3 laps to go in the stage. We'll try to keep that truck on the lead lap as the leaders come at speed to the start-finish line. Gio Ruggiero to the outside lane. Raja Caruth to the bottom with 2 laps to go in stage 2.
Side by side, they run once again into the 33-degree banking of turns 1A and 2. Here's Ruggiero trying to get a little bit of help in that outside lane. He'll put a fender up in the high lane for the lead.
Caden Honeycutt has been a loyal soldier behind Gio Ruggiero, trying to push a fellow Toyota driver to the lead. It's Ruggiero and Honeycutt 1-2 on the outside. Caruth and Fenhouse 1-2 against the bottom lane.
Gio Ruggiero opted not to pull down to the inside at the end of the back straightaway, so keeps with Caden Honeycutt. That allows Raja Caruth to get another surge from behind, and he will lead the field off the turn 4 with Luke Fenhouse tucked up underneath the tailgate.
Here they come back into turns, into the tri-oval as they get set to go back to turn number 1. Caruth on the bottom of the racetrack. Gio Ruggiero goes topside. Both lanes have plenty of drafting help as we begin the final lap of stage number 2.
2 of the young lions of the Craftsman Truck Series now ready to go at it on the final lap for those bonus points at the end of the stage. Ruggiero topside, takes it all the way up to the outside wall. He'll lead by about a foot.
They remain neck and neck for the top spot. A little bit further back, Chandler Smith pulls out of line, trying to get that third lane started. He, however, is outside of the top 10. It's Ruggiero and Caruth still double wide for the lead.
Drag race into turn 3 and 4 for the final time in stage number 2. They're neck and neck as Raja Caruth trying to sweep the first 2 stages, has help in Luke Fenhouse. Here comes the outside lane. Gio Ruggiero neck and neck off 4.
Ruggiero with that high side momentum with Caruth to the bottom. Here they come into the tri-oval. Checkered flag will be out at the exit of the tri-oval. A big shove by Caden Honeycutt propels Gio Ruggiero to the staged win. He will win stage number 2 here at Talladega. Caden Honeycutt will finish in the second spot. Raja Caruth leading off of turn number 4 will have to settle for third. JJ Yaley in fourth. Luke Fenhouse to round out the top 5. Then it was Corey LaJoy, Tyler Ankrum, Connor Mosak, Corey Heim, and Matt Crafton, the top 10.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day 1. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires Sonoma Racing Fuel. The race up from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station at MRN or NASCAR.com.
The stage win a moment ago by Gio Ruggiero, the second of his career. First here this afternoon at the Talladega Superspeedway. He picked up the stage win over Caden Honeycutt, Raja Caruth, JJ Yaley, and Luke Fenhouse. From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by getting involved today. Whether you know a child who could benefit, want to volunteer, or join our team, you can be a part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting victoryjunction.org.
One last exhale.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day 1. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Back at Talladega Superspeedway, working the 5th caution flag of the afternoon to end stage number 2. Gio Ruggiero claimed the win. There were 3 playoff drivers that earned no stage points today. Lane Riggs, Ty Majeski, and Grant Enfinger, all involved in early race incidents.
As we run the Love's RV Stop 225, it's a privilege to welcome to the broadcast Mr. Jim Wheeler, Senior Director of Hospitality and RV Operations for Love's. How are you, sir?
Doing great. It's always good to be back in Talladega, for sure.
It really is, and a perfect day weather-wise, a great race ongoing. Love's RV Stop, that's the name of today's race. What is Love's RV Stop?
Yeah, Love's RV Stop is, really it's a convenient way for RV travelers to be able to stop for an overnight stay. We have 110 locations now. What's interesting, so it's great to be back here. Last year we opened 36 new locations since I was here last. So rapidly growing. We expect that same kind of pace to keep going. But we're going to offer the 30-50 amp power, potable water, the RV dump. It's all automated, very convenient and easy. So people love it. So we're going to continue to grow.
So many great amenities, and you guys have embraced the technology with the Love's, the app that folks can use. Is that the best way to reserve a site?
Yeah, it really is. The Love's Connect app, and not only you can go out right on there, reserve your spot. You never have to go in. You can turn on your power. It'll ask you to give you an email when you want to check in. You just reply to that. It really is something that is super convenient and something that is unique to us in this industry. So, the Love's Connect app also will give you fuel discounts. So people love it for that. We also have a lot of other discounts out there. We're running some RV discounts now. We do have a 15% off for Talladega 15. So for the rest of this year, if you use that code, once you make it, you'll get a 15% discount on your RV stay.
So many RVs around the world and in the United States, and especially at NASCAR tracks. So we look out over the infield here at Talladega, jam-packed with RVs. It seems a natural fit with Love's RV Stop and NASCAR to go hand in hand.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's exactly it. When we come here and we see all the RVers here, and yeah, it's great. So it's and with us now, and these RV stops are in 35 states. Love's is in 45 states, and we have overall Love's locations 650. So it is real great for RVers, and we try to be very friendly to them. This is one way we do it, but we have everything they need at our Love's RV stops.
Thanks so much for again being a part of racing here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Great. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jim Wheeler, Senior Director of Hospitality and RV Operations for Love's RV Stop as we run the Love's RV Stop 225. Pit road is open, Steve Post.
Raja Carruth going with right side tires, packing it full of Sunoco Racing Fuel. Corey Hahn going with 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel for Tyler Ankrum. And Lane Riggs is in. He's going to go 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel as well, Jason Toy.
If all goes to plan, this will be the last time you change tires. 4 tires, the name of the game, all in this middle section of pit road, including Ty Majeski, who continues to work on that race truck. Dawson Sutton, who's been having a great run here throughout the afternoon, just a slight adjustment to tighten him up a little bit. 4 tires Sunoco Fuel. Also on this end of pit road, Ben Rhodes, Jack Wood, Gio Ruggiero, who's been leading quite a bit here today. No adjustments for him. 4 tires Sunoco Fuel to top them off. Brad Gilly.
J.J. Yaley came to pit road for the first time. He got 4 tires. They topped him off with Sunoco Fuel. Also coming in, 4 tires in Sunoco. Luke Fenhouse. Corey LaJoie came in, 2 tire stop, right sides only. As he was exiting his pit box, Spencer Boyd was coming in. They nearly made contact. They didn't. Because of that slowdown, then Andre Perez de Lara was trying to exit his pit box. As a result, Spencer Boyd pitted a little bit outside of his box, had to back up. They finally went out after topping off with Sunoco Fuel.
These pit stops coming on lap number 44 of the 85-lap distance that will be run here this afternoon. At least in regulation, there's always that chance of overtime. Chandler Smith, the first off the pit lane, gained 15 spots on pit road over Corey LaJoie in second. Jack Wood gained 16 in third. Raja Carruth came out fourth. Connor Mosak came out in the fifth spot. Andres Perez de Lara in the sixth position. Gio Ruggiero seventh. Dawson Sutton in eighth. J.J. Yaley in ninth. And Caden Honeycutt, the top 10, off the pit lane just a lap ago.
Just recently, we also lost Grant Lynch here in the world of NASCAR. NASCAR racing. He was a long-time track president and chairman here of the Talladega Superspeedway. Grant Lynch's leadership, vision, and larger-than-life personality helped make Talladega Superspeedway one of the most iconic and more importantly, fan-friendly venues in all of motorsports. He taking over a track president back in 1993 and later chairman. He guided Talladega Superspeedway through more than 2 decades of growth, transformation, and all of that came with it, while building lasting relationships with fans, competitors, and everyone across the industry. From his time with R.J. Reynolds Sports Marketing, Talladega, and even into retirement, Grant was not only a trusted leader, but also cherished friend to so many in the NASCAR family. He is truly missed. Our late great leader, Barney Hall, with the Motor Racing Network, once said they don't race them anywhere in the world like they do at Talladega, as we stand in the Barney Hall broadcast booth. And that's an iconic statement from an iconic man. But Grant Lynch not only said, but also believed with passion when he said to everyone, quote, "It's not just a race, it's Talladega."
Passing away earlier this month at the age of 71, no doubt will be missed as the caution continues here at the Talladega Superspeedway as we get set for stage number 3, the first of a busy race weekend here at the racetrack. Of course, we'll pick back up tomorrow with NASCAR Cup Series pole qualifying at 1:30 Eastern Time on the Motor Racing Network. That'll be followed up by the NASCAR Xfinity Series United Rentals 250, 3:30 Eastern Time tomorrow. And then we'll button up the busy race weekend with the Yellowwood 500 for the NASCAR Cup Series. On Sunday, NASCAR Live, our pre-race show, kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern Time from Talladega, and Christopher Bell joins us up here in the tower. We talked earlier, and of course our next on-track activity will be Cup qualifying tomorrow. You go out 36th. I assume that's a good thing. Explain why it's so beneficial to go late in the qualifying order.
Yeah, so some tracks it matters more than others. Talladega Superspeedway, it's one of the places that it really doesn't matter very much, but whenever we talk about it actually mattering, it's all about rubber and the rubber state of the racetrack. So whenever you go out there in our format, you practice right before you qualify. So in practice, the tires get hot. It lays down a ton of rubber. It makes the track very slippery. Whenever you go out on qualifying, the tires are cold, and the first couple cars will actually pick some of that rubber up, increasing the grip levels and increasing the speeds.
If you make the second round, does going earlier or going late have an advantage there? I think about heat and components, but heat and tires, I don't know where that goes.
Yeah, Todd, I don't know. That's a question I would have for you. It seems like super speedway qualifying, maybe going out a little bit later and keeping that oil hotter, maybe keeps it rolling a little bit smoother. Is that the case?
That would be my thought, is if I got the transaxle up to temperature, that oil being a little thinner. But I still got to get the motor cooled back down to where it can run as well as it needs to. But be interesting to see how that plays out tomorrow.
As we get the 1-to-go signal before we go back under the green flag, the drivers are choosing what lane to restart in. Steve Post, it's been a pretty good opening to today's race for Rajah Caruth. He won stage number 1, finished 3rd in stage number 2.
That is 17 stage points, and Rajah Caruth has got a lot of good things in his corner, but here at Talladega, Kevin Bono Mannion, as crew chief, may be the best. Bono came over the radio after stage number 2. He said, Rajah, you have run these stages perfectly. We knew this was a point battle. 17 points is the most points they have earned in the first and second stage. So when they needed it the most, he got it. He delivered it here. Now, Bono said, we're going to do this. We're going to gas you up. We're going to do right side tires. The 5 car is going to come around you. You're going to wait. You're going to go on my command, and we're going to go out. And we now adapt and switch to racing for the win of this race. So the coaching for Kevin Bono Mannion for Rajah is really good. And Bono knows so much about it. He's won here at Talladega in the Cup Series with Jamie McMurray, also won the Daytona 500 at our sister track with Jamie McMurray. He's a 4-time Xfinity Series winner here at this racetrack with Martin Truex Jr. 3 times and with Dale Earnhardt Jr. 3 times. And listening to him coach Rajah Caruth, who finished 4th here last year, has been just absolutely fascinating to see how they do. Now they get to go for the race with those 17 stage points in the bank. They can go for the race win here this afternoon. See if Bono Mannion can get his 5th or 6th career win here at Talladega Superspeedway as a crew chief.
Which puts him up plus 40 right now on the current playoff leaderboard as they run to come around to begin stage 3. Corey Heim, of course, has already advanced. Then it's Caruth, Caden Honeycutt, Tyler Ankrum, all good, plus 24 for Ankrum, but there's still a long way to go here at Talladega as we begin stage number 3 of the final stage of today's race with Tanner Gray and Parker Kligerman making up the front row inside and out to turn 1.
Kligerman gets a pretty healthy shove going into turn number 1, pushes him ahead by nearly a full truck length, but here comes Gray back to the bottom of the racetrack. Both of them with about 10 rows of drafting help in there side by side.
It's still Parker Kligerman and Tanner Gray wheel to wheel for the race lead, headed up the Alabama Gang super stretch. This time, halfway down the straightaway, it is Parker Kligerman getting about a half a trunk length out in front, but here comes Tanner Gray to his left side.
Toyota on the bottom, Chevrolet on top for Parker Kligerman. Got a healthy push that last time down the super stretch from Corey LaJoie. He's got Raja Caruth as well, so 3 Chevys trying to work together at the front as Tanner Gray gets a shove from Chandler Smith on the bottom.
2 of the top 3 currently started at the back of the field at today's race. Outside of Tanner Gray, who's the leader by a fender, you've got Parker Kligerman, who started at the back. Chandler Smith is there on the inside lane. He, too, started at the back of the field.
2 by 2 back through about the 12th or 14th position. Then the 3 wide line begins. Daniel Hemrick was the first to jump up there. Luke Fenhouse jumped up in front of him. Now here comes Lane Riggs to the 3 wide line.
Those drivers continue to form up in that third lane. The middle lane being led by Parker Kligerman, starting to go backwards just a little bit as Tanner Gray and Chandler Smith take up the top 2 spots.
That third lane starting to fall apart a little bit about the 7th position as Fenhouse still finds himself on the outside of 3 wide. That lane starts to go backwards. Meanwhile, back up front, Parker Kligerman backpedaling in second on the outside, trying to get a shove from Corey LaJoie.
And look for a moment, the outside lane was going to come back to life, being led by Parker Kligerman. He has faded to the 4th spot as the top 3 are all nose to tail. Tanner Gray, Chandler Smith, Jack Wood up to P3. The outside lane coming back to life in turn 1.
Parker Kligerman trying to get it rolling in that second groove. The 3 wide line has fallen back just outside the top 10. Kligerman now up into a 2 wide battle for the number 2 position.
Parker Kligerman has got Corey LaJoie right behind him. Now here comes that third lane with a little bit of surge of momentum down the straightaway. Luke Fenhouse and Daniel Hemrick going somewhere to 3.
How about this for Daniel Hemrick? A big shot from Luke Fenhouse. They got as high as 5th. Now they're starting to backpedal in that 3 wide lane as Parker Kligerman links back up with Corey LaJoie. Top 4 trucks, though, single file on the bottom, led by Tanner Gray.
Getting down to it, 36 laps to go in today's race. So Christopher Bell, as the driver, where would you like to be positioning yourself right now to try to put yourself in position to win the race?
So right now it's going to be all about your fuel mileage, and I'm going to be quizzing my crew chief all run long of how are we looking? And if he's telling me we're good to the end, I want to be out there leading this race. But if he's saying that we got to be saving, you need to be back in the pack trying to run off that throttle pedal and saving a little bit of fuel.
Field off of turn number 2 and racing down the Alabama Gang super stretch.
Halfway down the back straightaway, Kyle Rickey, the top 5, single file, Tanner Gray, Chandler Smith, Jack Wood, Connor Mosack, and Dawson Sutton.
That outside lane fell apart in turns 1 and 2 as Parker Kligerman now has parachuted back outside the top 10. Meanwhile, it's Tanner Gray getting a shove from Chandler Smith. Everybody even on the bottom side of the racetrack through the top 7.
As these guys get single file here, come into the tri-oval, fuel becomes a question for me. Steve Post?
Yeah, Todd, and it is really, really close. I talked to Kevin Bonamanian about this and also to Mark Hillman about it. 34 laps when leading is the fuel window that we have. We went green with 39 laps. Of course, we had a couple parade laps. Now, really where the science gets into place, and Christopher Bell kind of alluded to it, is how far back you are and how much you are saving. Bonamanian told me in the perfect world, we can find a way to get 3 additional seconds of fuel, but we may not have that perfect world. So Christopher is absolutely right in what he said. Every driver is going to be quizzing their crew chief. How am I doing on fuel? How am I doing on fuel? And when we get to that point where they feel that they can make it to the end of the race, then the drivers will get the giddy up and go on that one. Now, those are the drivers that pitted at the end of stage number 2. Jason Troy, Parker Kligerman, he short pitted it. What are they saying in his pit area?
Well, they know they got the fuel window to open up, but they're definitely going to have to stop one more time. Talked to Chris Carrier, said everybody's got to make the rest of the way, and so do we. But they're going to have to take a little bit more fuel than what everybody else that came to stop at the end of that stage number 2. So they are going to have to get about 5 seconds, 4.5 seconds of fuel for him to go the rest of the way. Brad?
As soon as Luke Fenhouse pitted, Rich Lucius's crew chief told him exactly when they were going to restart. He didn't explicitly say save fuel, but he said we're going to restart with 40 to go. Told him to run mid-pack. Now, right now, he's running the second truck in the high line, but that's about 8 trucks back, right behind Parker Kligerman. Tab Boyd, the spotter for Luke Fenhouse here today, is telling him stay right behind Kligerman. You're right where you need to be, at least at this point in the race.
And that plays for all these guys until we have a caution. If we have another caution, then we bank a little bit more fuel. Why would you run in a position not in the lead, Christopher?
So whenever you're running mid-pack, you're actually off the accelerator quite a bit. That lead truck, maybe the second truck in line, they're going to be wide open all the way around this 2 and whatever mile racetrack. But the further you get back in the pack, the less throttle you're going to use and the more fuel you're going to save.
And there is one truck off the pace, Tyler Tomasi, slow over in turn number 2. We'll see if he can make it around the speedway and back to the pit lane as the leaders are over in turn number 3. One truck off the pace mid-pack will stay green for Tanner Gray. It looks like that's Daniel Hemrick off the pace, tire down, and a tire casing has come off of that truck in turn 4, Chris Wilner.
Yeah, Kyle Rickey's coming to a slow stop here at the top side of turn number 4. Daniel Hemrick losing what looks like a left front tire. He weaves the truck back down to pit lane, and he will make it to pit road, but that tire carcass has now careened down the 33 degrees of banking onto the apron in turn 3.
Self-cleaning banking with that 33 degrees, so that piece of rubber is off the racing surface, and here comes Daniel Hemrick. He, too, off the racing surface. He's on pit road in front of Steve Post.
It's a right rear flat tire on this truck. He brings it into the attention of the crew. They hustle around to the right side. Jack onto the right side of it, taking a look at things right now. Right side tires off, including that flat right rear. Now the new tires are going on, taking another look at it, making sure they have good clearance on the rear of the truck, and they've slowed down the pace quite a bit here now as they look at the left side or the right side of this truck. And right now he's just sitting here as they not even sure what they're doing as far as that goes. Now a couple more crew members going around with some of the bars, maybe a baseball bat, to make sure they got good clearance on the right rear fender of that truck.
And some left rear damage as well to the Daniel Hemrick truck after contact with Tony Breidinger after Hemrick slowed over in turn 3. Breidinger had nowhere to go, so damage at a couple of corners of the Hemrick truck, who has since fallen off the lead lap. Raja Karuth now on the pit lane, joined there by Tony Breidinger. As those two trucks are on the pit lane, we'll go back to Steve.
Raja Karut was in. Kevin Bonamanian said in the perfect world we need 3 seconds of fuel. I don't know if they didn't get it full or they're just playing it really, really safe right here now. Raja Karut back down and away. We'll see also if this is forces or brings anyone else down to pit road, knowing that Raja at this point can make it to the end of the race.
So, Todd, I want to ask you, this is a brave call for the 71 and everyone else who's pitting under green here, right?
Yeah, it is, and doing it by yourself is a gamble. The piece I'm wondering is, have they seen that tire carcass? Do they think that NASCAR is going to throw a caution? If they're listening and hearing that NASCAR might be speculating, getting to pit road, getting that fuel in, will cycle them back to the front.
And if they don't get a yellow, they're going to be in big trouble being out here by themselves.
They are. The only thing that I think they can look forward to is these guys that came this next lap. We've got about 6 trucks here on pit road, just exiting pit road at this point, hoping to latch onto the back of this group of cars and maintain pace.
To Jason Toy, rather.
Handful of Toyotas made their way in. The first one leading them in was Gio Ruggiero. He came in. Sean Hawkins, the fuel man. They counted him down for 3 seconds. Gio did a great job not sliding those tires. 3.5 seconds of fuel for Gio Ruggiero. Steve Post.
And it was Toyotas down here as well. Playoff drivers, Caden Honeycutt and Corey Heim were both in. It was 3.5 seconds of fuel for those Toyotas as well, Brad Gilly.
Luke Fenhouse in for fuel. He's going to get 3 seconds. They clean off the grill. Said his engine was starting to get a little bit hot. They actually keep him in for about 5 seconds of Sunoco race fuel. His truck is away as we've got more coming in, including Frankie Muniz and Spencer Boyd.
Steve Post, more trucks now for Sunoco fuel in front of you.
Matt Crafton brings his truck into the attention of the crew. Going to be a fuel-only stop. Fuel-only stop for Lane Riggs as well, Jason Toy.
Ben Rhodes was just in Sunoco fuel, but they were in for a long time. He lost a lot of track position in the middle section of pit road.
Along with his Thor Sport teammates, Ty Majeski and Luke Fenhouse, they have all found each other on the racetrack. They are all in a draft in turn number 2 right now as they come back up the speed. We'll see how all this shakes out as the rest of the leaders have come to the pit lane off of turn number 4, Brad Gilly.
Coming in on my end of pit lane, the number 7 sign is out. That's for J.J. Yaley. Andre Perez de Lara, he's also in for his pit service. Another Chevrolet, Corey LaJoy. Fuel only for those 3. Jason Toy.
All Chevrolets making their way. Jack Wood, the first of the middle section. He's down on the way with fuel. The one that's taking the longest is Parker Kligerman. He was one of the second ones on pit road. He'll be the last of the Chevrolets to come off pit road. Steve Post.
Tyler Ankrum, I believe the final playoff driver to bring his truck in. They shook the truck back and forth, making sure they got all the fuel in they wanted. Mark Hillman's wanted 4 seconds of fuel for Tyler Ankrum, and they feel confident and comfortable that they have that truck ready to go. We need to note, while this is all happening, they're pushing Daniel Hemrick's truck back up pit road. Daniel Hemrick appears done for the day, or at least going back to the garage for extensive repairs.
Continuing under this green flag cycle of pit stops, few trucks have yet to pit, including leader Nathan Bird. You also have Jack Wood, Connor Mosack, among the drivers that have yet to pit here with still 28 laps to go at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in. 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
You've got here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
Continuing under the green flag here at the Talladega Superspeedway, we'll reset the field for you here in a moment with 26 laps to go from Talladega Superspeedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn. Passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to MRN.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info, it's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag, green
Bring
flag.
your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Back at the Talladega Superspeedway, where Nathan Bird continues to lead. He has yet to pit and is about 5 seconds a lap slower than the rest of the field. That includes Ben Rhodes and Corey Heim leading what will become the lead draft as we get down to it here this afternoon for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And I know, Alex Hayden, there's been a lot of talk about the recent strategies that have gone on with our race leaders and why they may have occurred.
Yeah, and obviously we're not in the minds, we're not the decision makers down there up and down the pit lane, but Todd, kind of walk us through this entire green flag sequence that caught a lot of people off guard that didn't expect a green flag sequence.
The piece that I that made sense to me is I think you know, the 71 truck, Rajah Caruth, Kevin Bono Mannion, I think he was anticipating that there could be a caution from the tire carcass that got off of the 19 truck and tried to get to pit road to get fuel. He came by himself. But I feel like that created a domino effect that other crew chiefs reacted to. I'm not so sure that I think that was right to react to it. In fact, I don't think it was. But everybody came and did that. And you can't be on your own strategy here. You've got to be on one within a group, and you've got to react within the group, and that's what we've seen this cycle happen.
Yeah, Todd, we're seeing the 71 right now. Because he was the first car on pit road by himself, he has lost the lead pack and is way behind the field.
Rajah Caruth in the 20th position.
that's a big detriment right now to that team, but they're going to bank on the fact that we may have another caution flag. Keeping in mind, this race a year ago, there were only 4 caution flags total in the race. We've already eclipsed that with 5 of them here so far for a total of 20 laps. Who knows what the future holds in this one, but things begin to shuffle up. Nathan Bird, the race leader, well, that's no longer. He was gobbled up in a hurry by that lead draft as they make their way here up off of turn number 4 and begin to shuffle the deck of cards one more time. Kyle, here in the Tri-Oval.
Here they come into the Tri-Oval. Gio Ruggiero at the point of this now lead draft over Corey Heim in the second spot. Ben Rhodes in third, Tanner Gray fourth, and Luke Fenhouse in fifth as they go back to turn 1.
And those top 5 trucks are all snuggled up down on the double yellow line. Then it's about 10 truck lengths worth of open asphalt where they go 2 by 2 back around the 8th, 9th, and 10th position.
And that second pack of traffic that Dave just referenced has been mixing it up very aggressively the last several laps. Corey LaJoie is in that pack. J.J. Yaley, Ty Majeski, Chandler Smith, and others.
And they were all eating up the Josh Rayum machine as they put him a lap down as that field continues to settle 2 by 2 by 2 behind the top 5 trucks. Off of Ford, still Gio Ruggiero, Corey Heim, and Ben Rhodes, your top 3.
That top 5 is single file, nose to tailgate. They're going to try to run away from this second pack now. There's a good 15 or so truck links between that front 5, Dave, and that rest of the field who's rapidly trying to figure out how to organize.
And the more that second pack shuffles the cards and does a little do-si-do here and there. Oh, one truck up in smoke back around the tail end, and now flames leaping out of that machine. One truck up against the outside wall. It's Norm Benning. That truck has blown up, and there are flames pouring out of the back of that machine. Normie trying to lock it down. Not easy to do because there's fluid streaming out from behind that machine. He now brings it to a stop midway on the back straightaway. Window net appears to go down. Norm Benning now scrambling out the window as the safety crews arrive on the scene. Norm Benning up in flames and a crazy ride from midway between 1 and 2 all the way to the halfway mark of the back straightaway.
And we go under the caution flag for the 6th time with 21 laps to go. And Norm Benning, that truck went aflame, Dave Moody, up in turn number 1. And it looks like safety team is there attending to Norm, who is out of the truck.
He is out of the truck and appears to be okay. You're exactly right, Kyle. He had just been overhauled by that lead pack, or by that pack of trucks. He was running all by himself about 3 grooves up off the bottom of the racetrack. The white smoke began trailing out of that truck, and then immediately you could feel the concussion as it really blew up and the flames began to billow out the back of that machine.
Norm Benning, the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native, 73 years of age. A scary moment there, but again, got out of the truck under his own power.
This is Kyle Larson.
I'm David Grau.
Hi, I'm Donnie Shaw.
This is Brian Brown. This is Danny Dietrich.
Wing Nation is your go-to destination for all the latest sprint car news and interviews from the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. This is Steve Post. Aaron Evernham, Ashley Strummy, and I will have all the latest news, insights, and conversations on Wing Nation's YouTube or Facebook pages, or listen and download and subscribe to Wing Nation on any podcast platform.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation. Wing Nation.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation. All sprint cars, all the time.
We are under the green flag.
Listen up, NASCAR fans. Now's the time to turn your love of racing into big-time prizes. Because NASCAR Fantasy Live is your fast lane to bragging rights.
Furious racing here.
Pick 5 drivers each week of the season. Then complete additional challenges to stack points. All for your shot at the grand prize.
So let's get this party started.
For official rules and to learn more, visit NASCAR.com/fantasy and sign up today.
From Talladega Superspeedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-375-3232. 800-375-3232. That's 800-375-3232. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
Friday night at 7 Eastern.
We welcome you back here to the Talladega Super Speedway as we work the caution flag here for the 6th time for Norm Benning, who had an engine expire and subsequent fire in that truck. He was able to get out of the truck, but the safety personnel are tending to Norm Benning right now. So while we have a moment, here's a look at who's getting it done out on the track right now. Presented by Craftsman. Mid-project regret syndrome? Well, not on your watch. Power up your DIY game, literally, with the Craftsman V20 lineup. One battery system, 100-plus products, and a million reasons to build on. Learn more at craftsman.com. Todd Gordon, what say you?
Oh, I'm going to go to the guy that sat on a pole to start the race and is leading it right now. Gio Ruggiero has done a great job. 12 stage points, kind of kept his truck clean. He's run a good race, very organized, but put himself in position to be in a great opportunity to capitalize at the end of this one.
Christopher?
Guys, I'm trying to look at the playoff points here, and I've been struggling to follow it. It has been all over the map today, and we've seen a bunch of points between Caden Honeycutt and Raja Caruth, but now with this yellow flag in the pit cycle, I mean, it is literally anyone's game here at the end of the race.
It really has mixed things up quite a bit, and a saving grace caution for Raja Caruth and some of these other teams now, Kyle, that are able to get back in the game, as they say in the biz.
Drivers that were outside of the top 12, like a Dawson Sutton or Tyler Ankrum, Andres Perez de Laura, Caden Honeycutt. Raja Caruth, as we mentioned a moment ago, 19th, but was well behind the lead group. We'll be right there within a second when we go back under the green flag a couple laps from now as cleanup continues over in turn 2. Let's go to pit road and Brad Gilley.
Chandler Smith coming in. He says his truck is just all over the racetrack, way too loose. They're going to at least change right side tires on that truck and give him just a little bit of Sunoco fuel. They were checking on some damage earlier. Now it's going to be a 4-tire change for Chandler Smith. He hopes to get the handling he's looking for, Steve Post.
We got Raja Caruth in. They're going to take one swipe of the grill, make sure the window is fresh and clean. He was 20th, had very little to lose, filled it up with fuel. Raja Caruth down and away. Tyler Ankrum, they're going with 4-tire Sunoco racing fuel for Tyler Ankrum. And Lane Riggs is in. They'll continue to massage on this truck with some fuel and some tires and work it again on the left front of the Lane Riggs truck. Jason Toy.
Parker Clearman comes back in. They fell back a little bit. They were the ones that got held more on pit road on the cycle to pit stops with the Chevrolet Silverado because they short pitted. They needed more fuel. He came in on the back end. This has actually been a savior for them to catch back up to the draft, putting on 4 fresh Goodyear Racing Wranglers and top it off with Sunoco fuel for Parker Kligerman.
It's under a long cleanup for the engine that let go on Norm Benning's truck. Happened going into turn number 1. Dave Moody, what's the latest on the cleanup scenario?
The Norm has been put in the ambulance and taken to the infield care center. The car has gone up, or the truck rather, has gone up on the flatbed. What remains now is about 600 bags of oil dry that have been put down from about the midway mark of turn 2 all the way to where the truck ended up midway on the back straightaway. They've got the jet blowers up in turn 1 and 2 right now, just beginning the process of trying to blow all that speedy dry away.
Going to take a while, Alex, to clean up 600 bags of speedy dry over there in turn number 2, but a couple of more laps and we should be back underway. 18 laps to run. Lane Riggs rejoins the field. He has been on and off of pit road the last few laps. Gio Ruggiero is the race leader over Corey Heim. Ben Rhodes looking to get back to victory lane for the first time this season. Could be the first win for ThorSport. Talked at the top of the broadcast that ThorSport Racing has not won a race so far this season. Their last winless year came back in 2007. So right now, Rhodes in 3rd, Tanner Gray 4th. Another one of those ThorSport trucks in 5th with Luke Fenhouse, Corey LaJoy, J.J. Yaley, Ty Majeski in 8th, the defending champion, Jack Wood in 9th, and Nathan Bird, who was getting swallowed up by the field just prior to the caution, still hanging on to a top 10 in that Young's Motorsports truck.
This is the Love's RV Stop 225 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series here at Talladega Super Speedway. The opening event for a big weekend of motorsports here in East Central Alabama. Tomorrow, we'll be back with you right here at Talladega for the NASCAR Cup Series pole qualifying. You can hear that here on MRN at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the United Rentals 250 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And that leads up to Sunday afternoon, the main event, the NASCAR Cup Series Yellowwood 500. NASCAR Live Race Day will be with you from Talladega Live at 1 o'clock Eastern Time.
In some fun off-track happenings this week in the world of NASCAR, the NASCAR 25 video game was officially released here for this year. And Christopher, you a big video game guy, and have you played the new one yet?
I'm a big iRacing guy, so
Okay.
it's really cool. I was super excited about the news that iRacing was going to produce the NASCAR 25 game. What an honor to be on the covers. So I remember being a kid idolizing, the stars that are on the video game covers, and never in a million years did I think I'd be on there.
You're an unassuming guy off the racetrack. You're quite the pit bull when you put a helmet on and grab a steering wheel. But off the racetrack, when you got to the broadcast booth here earlier today, you looked down in the grandstand, this big crowd. First thing you saw was somebody wearing a number 20 T-shirt down there, your number and your gear down there. What is it like now, seeing people wearing your gear and being on the cover of a video game, things of that nature, for somebody who's just kind of humble and very unassuming?
Yeah, I mean, it's just cool. I'm so blessed to be in this position, to be driving in the NASCAR Cup Series for Joe Gibbs Racing, and it's just it means a lot. Like, whenever you think about all the people that pull from you, even from just your team, your mechanics, your crew chief, your pit crew guys, and then your shop guys, and then the fans and all of their families, it's really cool to see how many people you touch.
One of the 10 drivers still remaining in the Most Popular Driver Award for this season as well, for Christopher Bell, joining us up here in the booth this afternoon with still 17 laps to go here at Talladega. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. Getting into the final laps of the Love's RV Stop 225 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series here this afternoon. The second race in the round of 8 and race 23 of 25 here this season. Kyle Rickey joined by Alex Hayden, Todd Gordon, and Christopher Bell here in the broadcast booth. Dave Moody, Tim Catalfamo, and Chris Wilner out in the corners for us here this afternoon. And Steve Post, Jason Toy, and Brad Gilley, they have had a very busy day down on pit road. Gio Ruggiero will restart as the race leader over Corey Heim, Ben Rhodes, Tanner Gray, and Luke Fenhaus. The top 5, as the field has already chosen their restart lanes, and they're double wide on the back straightaway, set to go green with 15 laps to go this time by.
Tim Catalfamo, you're over there on the Alabama Gang Super Stretch, and that is a place where drivers really mix it up. Even though it's a 4,000-foot piece of straight asphalt, there's an awful lot that takes place back there.
There certainly is. There's a lot of action that goes on these races that we run here at Talladega, and mainly because this is a flat straightaway. You mentioned the length, but it is also very wide. You can fit about 4 or 5 trucks side by side all in a row. I don't recommend doing that, but you can. That's how wide the surface is. They just can't go below that double yellow line. Where it gets interesting is when they try to funnel back in line going into the banking in turn number 3. That's usually where we have seen some pretty bad crashes over the years. But the moves that drivers make in the draft, trying to set themselves up for the end of the straightaway, that's where it really gets interesting here at Talladega.
Especially in the closing laps, which is what we're getting down to here this afternoon. 15 laps to go when they get back to the start-finish line. Some of the safety equipment and safety trucks making their way back to the infield off of turn number 4 as the pace car now in their tire tracks with the field behind, set to take to the pit lane for the restart here at Talladega.
As they make their way into the tri-oval, Todd, everybody had a chance to choose what lane to restart in. This is going to line up interesting, especially with the manufacturers.
Yeah, we had 3 Toyotas pick the first 3 spots on the bottom, nose to tail. I wonder how well they'll work together.
Tricon Garage well represented on the bottom, and they are propelling each other to the front of the field. Gio Ruggiero getting the big shove by Corey Heim. Tanner Gray down there as well as they go back to turn number 1 with 15 to run.
Gio away to the lead, but it might be too much of a lead because he's left a couple of truck lengths between himself and Corey Heim. No drafting help when that happens. And around the outside, Ben Rhodes will take the lead.
Ben Rhodes with some nice drafting assistance behind him will go to the lead here at Talladega. Now Rhodes jumps from the middle lane down to the bottom. He's bringing his ThorSport teammate of Luke have the momentum right now. It belongs to the drivers against the double yellow line on the bottom side of the racetrack. Ben Rhodes is the leader. Luke Fenhaus second. Gio Ruggiero and Corey Heim the top four.
That dominant inside lane continues to be strong here in turns 3 and 4 as Corey LaJoie desperately asking for some help. Needs someone to pop out in line in front. Nobody will off turn 4. Still top 6 trucks. Single file on the bottom.
When they get to the line, there will be 8 laps to go here in the Love's RV Stop 225. It continues to be Ben Rhodes. Now the front 6 have gone single file, all right at the bottom of the racetrack. Headed back to turn number 1.
Parker Kligerman's hopes for victory lane have gone by the wayside. He is running slowly down below the yellow line, about 2/3 of the way down the back straightaway. Here come the leaders off turn number 2, led by Ben Rhodes.
Still no change inside of the top 4. Those 4 trucks that I mentioned a lap ago remain the leaders on the bottom side of the racetrack. Matt Mills further back gets shuffled out of lane. He's going backwards. Luke Fenhaus gives a nice bump to Ben Rhodes to 3.
He certainly does, as those two continue to lead this lead pack. Now that second lane starting to get a couple more trucks in it as far as numbers are concerned. Caden Honeycutt, Matt Crafton joining that pack as well, but they're still outside the top 5.
One person I'm really looking at here is J.J. Yaley. You've got a teammate leading the top row in the 77. I wonder if the 7's going to pull up in front of him. He doesn't take it down the front straightaway this time by.
Right now, those two trucks side by side. Yaley outside, Corey LaJoie on the bottom, all chasing Ben Rhodes, who pulls the train back to 1.
Corey LaJoie right now no further up than a side-by-side battle for position number 7. It continues to be Ben Rhodes and Luke Fenhaus at the front.
One driver that I have been watching the last few laps has been Gio Ruggiero. Every now and then he pokes a right headlight out to the outside of Luke Fenhaus, but does not change lanes. He remains 3rd in line on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Still single file there on the bottom of the racetrack, but you're right, Corey Heim was in lockstep with him as well, riding in that 4th position. You wonder if those two will time the run off of turn 4 when they get to a couple laps to go, as Gio still sits in 3rd.
Right now, there will be 6 laps to go. Things get tightened up again. Front 6 still nose to tailgate on the bottom of the track. However, those 2 Spire trucks of J.J. Yaley and Corey LaJoie are trying to hook up nose to tail. Right now, Dave, they can't do it. They're side by side.
They're doing all they can do right now, but there's no room at the end for J.J. Yaley to slide up either in front or behind Corey LaJoie.
J.J. Yaley, again, right in the middle of the pack right now with a great shot to win this afternoon. However, he is not at the front of the pack right now. He is trying to move forward. J.J. Yaley right now 6th in line on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Hip to hip with his inspired teammate in Corey LaJoie. LaJoie still has the drafting help behind him with Ty Majeski with the wounded left front on that Thor Sport Ford F-150. But off the 4, top 4 still nose to tail right on the yellow line.
5 laps to go this time by for race leader Ben Rhodes, teammate in tow in Luke Fenhaus. Then the Tricon Toyotas lined up behind them. Gio Ruggiero, Heim, Tanner Gray, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Single file for now.
Just trying to reel in that outside line and make some progress. They're not going to get it done. As a matter of fact, they're going backward now. The front truck in the draft. J.J. Yaley got loose in turn 2, and they are sliding to the back.
And they are starting to stack up as well, Dave. They just do not have the numbers right now. Here is Raja Karuth, the first driver in the middle side of the racetrack, racing Tanner Gray for 5th.
Raja on the rebound trail after getting caught outside that pit window several laps ago. Now trying to race his way into the top 10, make it the top 5, but he's all by himself. Needs Tyler Ankrum for a push as he loses a couple positions.
Ankrum had a big moment in the middle of turns 3 and 4, had to roll out of the throttle, broke his momentum. He's falling back to the tail end of the lead draft. To the line we come. 4 laps to go. Ben Rhodes still the race leader.
Rhodes and the top 5 drivers continue to run unchallenged, unmolested in that low group. They just can't rally up the second lane to make a challenge for the front of the pack.
As that second lane continues to try to find some answers right now, Ben Rhodes remains the leader. And that double yellow line to Rhodes' left side is his best friend. Nobody can pass below it. He has a half a truck advantage over Luke Fenhaus off the end of the backstretch.
Here they come into the north end of the racetrack. Ben Rhodes still leading Luke Fenhaus. That second lane now trying to surge back inside the top 5 with Corey LaJoie. How about Lane Riggs on the comeback trail as well? Side by side with Ty Majeski there on the bottom.
Corey LaJoie leading that outside lane as they come back down to the line. Everybody else among the top 5 huddled up on the bottom. Still Ben Rhodes by a truck length over Luke Fenhaus. Gio Ruggiero, Corey Heim, Tanner Gray, nobody yet among the front five making a move with 3 to go.
LaCroix trying to surge his way to the front of the pack. Now sliding up in front of him will be Corey Heim. Sliding up in front of Heim is Gio Ruggiero. Here comes the move on the back straightaway.
And they're really starting to shuffle up. Luke Fenhouse did not jump up to the outside lane. Ben Rhodes did, and he blocked Gio Ruggiero. Now here's Ruggiero, almost turning Ben Rhodes off the end of the backstretch.
Ben Rhodes able to save that ThorSport truck as the pay window is open. Gio Ruggiero now a strong move to the outside. He's got his teammate Corey Heim right behind. Gio Ruggiero, Ben Rhodes side by side off 4.
As they come thundering down the short straightaway, back to the tri-oval, to the line. 2 laps to go here at Talladega. Ben Rhodes by half a truck has the advantage. He's got his teammate Luke Fenhouse on his tailgate. It's Tricon Garage topside.
The experience advantage probably belongs with the former series champion Ben Rhodes, but he's got teammates gathered up in the outside lane to come at him. They are 2 by 2. Oh, Rhodes gets turned. Ben Rhodes gets spun. Luke Fenhouse off his back bumper spins as well. Rhodes able to keep it off the inside wall. Fenhouse the same, but the front pair spin out at the exit of turn number 2.
Such a good run going by those ThorSport teammates, and it comes to an end on the back straightaway for Ben Rhodes and Luke Fenhouse while running toward the front of the field, battling for the top spot, Dave Moody.
I don't know what went wrong on the draft, Kyle, but Ben Rhodes looked solid on the bottom of the racetrack as he has for the last 10 or 15 laps. He just got collected, a little bit crooked on the push by Luke Fenhouse. Rhodes went spinning to the inside. Fenhouse, as you could imagine, checked up momentarily to try and avoid hitting him again. He got gathered up from behind. What a disaster for those 2 teammates.
That's basically a snapshot of the ThorSport season there, as they had trucks in position first and second, trying to win for the first time this year. Right now, they end up having to come back to pit road for fresh Goodyear tires.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, 2 Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Wing Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
We're headed to overtime here at the Talladega Super Speedway in the Love's RV Stop 225. When we come back, we'll tell you exactly what the overtime rules are here in NASCAR. From Talladega Super Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You catch Stag and Pennies on all the NASCAR platforms each week. We talk to some of our greatest drivers, winners, relevant stories. You never know who's going to show up.
Hall of Famers, everything, and you're going to get the best race highlights, the best content, the best scanner audio, the best reactions, and by far the best pit road breakdowns of any other podcast. Corey, where can they hear us?
You can find us on NASCAR on Tubi, SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you find your podcasts, or on YouTube. Go check us out.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 Years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
We welcome you back to Talladega Super Speedway. A beautiful afternoon and early evening here in East Central Alabama for NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing. Playoff racing at that, Kyle, and it has been a whirlwind if you're a playoff driver today.
Since lap number 1, seemingly 85 laps ago, had an early caution involving a couple of playoff drivers on lap 4, again on lap 9, and they have been getting at it ever since, 2 and 3 wide. However, the 6 remaining playoff drivers are still among the top 10, including Corey Heim, who has already clinched a spot into the Championship 4 with his win in Charlotte a couple of weeks ago, running in 2nd. Ty Majeski is 4th. Rajah Caruth is back up to 5th. Tyler Ankrum, who had a moment over in turn 4 a couple of laps prior to this caution, runs in 8th. Lane Riggs has been on and off the pit road seemingly a dozen times so far today. He's 9th, and Caden Honeycutt is in 10th among the playoff competitors.
So we are going to overtime. If you're new to NASCAR racing, what we do is we put the green flag in the air. If a caution flag comes out before that lap is fully completed by the race leader, we'll slow down and do it again. We'll do that as many times as it takes to get the checkered flag, or since there are no lights here, until it gets dark here in Talladega, Alabama. However, green flag goes in the air. The leader and the rest of the field race all the way around the track. If the leader takes the white flag, the next flag will end the race, whether it's the checkered flag in another full lap, or if there's a problem on the racetrack and they put the caution flag out, whoever is at the front of the field when the caution is called by NASCAR race control, they will be deemed the winner of the race.
This will be the 10th overtime finish here for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in 20 races, including 4 of the last 5 years. 2021, 22, 23, all went overtime. The race ended under the green flag in regulation a year ago, but we'll go into overtime here just a couple of laps from now.
If you're interested, since there are no lights here, NASCAR does, at tracks when there are no lights, set a time limit. Basically, they say, here is the time that we're going to go to. And today here at Talladega, that is 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, local time here at Talladega. What that means, Todd, is that doesn't mean the checkered flag comes out right when the clock hits 6 o'clock. That means that's when they get the signal that we're going to have 2 laps left in the race.
And if you look at it, looking at the weather here, because we're so far east in the central time zone, sunset is actually 6:08 p.m. So that makes sense, but that gives them an opportunity to go. Do you think this will be our last green flag flying here as we start this run?
I don't think Chief Starter Rich Keeter is going to put the yellow flag completely in the flag bag. I think he's going to keep that one nearby. We may have something else break out here on this next lap once we go green. I hope I'm wrong, Kyle.
Approaching 90 degrees at the start of this race. I believe it was 87 at the drop of the green flag, down to almost 80, 81 degrees right now. Does that change anything, Christopher, over the course of this race as far as track conditions?
I don't think so, but by now the guys have a lot of laps on their tires and really, really low on fuel. So we were talking about it earlier. They got to make sure that fuel pickup is filled up. And whenever you're running on the bank on slow pace conditions, all the fuel is away from the pickup. So hopefully everyone does a good job, minds their P's and Q's, and we don't have any issues. But you never know here at Talladega.
Where would you like to be on this restart?
Give me the front row. Give me the front row, and make sure that I got a friend behind me to push me.
Field will begin to double up in their rows of 2 here in just a couple of moments from now. It is Gio Ruggiero, the race leader, obviously not running for the playoffs, was the pole sitter here earlier this afternoon and has been up front all day with his teammate Corey Heim in the 2nd spot. Corey LaJoie in 3rd, Ty Majeski 4th, and Rajah Caruth will round out the top 5 as the field goes through the tri-oval right now and will begin to choose their lanes inside and out. Tanner Gray, Dawson Sutton, Tyler Ankrum, Lane Riggs, and Caden Honeycutt, the top 10. Todd?
So Corey Heim, second in line, chooses behind his teammate, Christopher.
It just doesn't seem very smart to me. If you can block both rows, you're essentially guaranteeing a Toyota win. It's risky. I mean, Heim wants to be in control of pushing Gio Ruggiero, but I would like to have control of both lanes if I was the team owner there.
Gio Ruggiero won pole position for today's race. The last time a pole winner won here at Talladega in a truck was back in 2015, and it was Timothy Peters driving for Red Horse Racing. Ironically, the truck number then was number 17. Ruggiero's truck number today from pole, number 17.
And he'll lead back to the green flag with Corey LaJoie to his outside when they go green. And then his teammate, as we discussed a moment ago, Corey Heim, will line up behind Gio Ruggiero on the inside lane. So they will be hooked up. And, Christopher, you said you wanted to start on the front row and you wanted a teammate or friend behind you. And that's exactly what Gio Ruggiero will have.
Yeah.
You're great if you're Gio, right?
By my surprise, yes. If I was the 11, I definitely would have been taking the outside there.
Corey Heim has a win. He's going to race in the championship race at Phoenix already. He won the last time out.
He's got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose here.
Right, which could come into factor why the decision was made to get behind Ruggiero, who is not a playoff contender. Ruggiero is a driver looking for his first career win and making his 23rd career start.
A lot of questions, a lot of answers. About 5 miles away as the field is off of turn number 4. Sun setting here at the Talladega Superspeedway, the opening event of a busy weekend of racing here at the Talladega Superspeedway for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Race 2 of the round of 8. Set to go back under the green. Gio Ruggiero, Corey LaJoie, front row. Corey Heim, Rajah Caruth, row 2, inside and out. Fans come to their feet. Overtime finish here for the trucks as the green flag is out from Rich Keeter atop the starter stand. They come back up to speed, and it's the Tricon Toyotas 1 and 2 on the bottom of the racetrack leading to turn 1.
Tricon on the inside, Spire on the outside, and right now it's a bit of a dead heat, although now the low lane begins to inch forward. To the lead, Gio Ruggiero with Corey Heim.
Gio Ruggiero a half a truck length out in front, hitting the back straightaway as they work their way to turn number 3. It is Corey LaJoie on the outside lane with a shove from Rajah Caruth. It's Ruggiero, though, the leader as they go to the corner.
The field rumbles into turn 3 as they come to the white flag, this time by Ruggiero now, getting a nice healthy push from his teammate in Corey Heim. LaJoie still stuck on the outside. Now the top 3 trucks with Ty Majeski, now single file.
The bottom lane, however, is where to be because the front 2 now will get away from the 2x2 action. They're both from the same team as they work their way from Tricon Garage. Gio Ruggiero, he'll take the white flag with his teammate Corey Heim on the tailgate.
Corey Heim had an opportunity to try and bust a move and take the lead away, but now here comes Corey LaJoie, rocketing back up to his right elbow. Side by side for second, it's Gio Ruggiero with the lead.
This is it, final time up the Alabama Gang Super Stretch. It is Gio Ruggiero on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's got Corey Heim right behind him. Corey LaJoie trying to go forward on the outside lane. They don't have the momentum at the moment.
But he got a huge shove from Rajah Caruth as LaJoie now will get to the right rear quarter panel of that Tricon Toyota. Final time off at turn number 4. Gio Ruggiero by a full truck length over Corey LaJoie.
There comes LaJoie in the outside lane trying to build a run. Has some help from Caruth. Gio Ruggiero leads on the bottom. A big shove by Corey Heim, who steps out of line. But at the flag is Gio Ruggiero with a win here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Gio Ruggiero wins the Love's RV Stop 225 as we go to pit road.
High fives, hugs, a few tears even thrown around here as well. Down here in the Tricon garage pit, Jermaine Donnelly's the crew chief down here. He is in tears, talking to his driver right now with high fives. And oh man, this is an emotional one here for Jeremy. All right, Jeremy, we see the emotion in the eyes on this one. How special is it to win at Talladega?
You guys have no idea. I mean, I'm just blessed to be here in this spot. The good Lord always puts me in the spot I need to be in, and I'm just forever thankful for it. It's been a tough week. These guys have stood behind me. Everybody at Tricon Garage, the chassis shop, the body shop, the fab shop, every mechanic on this team, the kid driving it, I mean, he's special. This is incredible. Thank you.
There you go. Congratulations. They're going to take a few steps behind us. They're going to Mobile One victory lane.
They are. The 19-year-old from Seekonk, Massachusetts, Gio Ruggiero, his first career win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Gio becomes the 5th of the last 7 Talladega races won by a driver getting his first career win.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Looking for a weekly motorsports podcast to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform. NASCAR Live Race Day continues on the NASCAR Racing Network.
It's all over in the Love's RV Stop 225 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Gio Ruggiero, his first career win here at this level. He'll celebrate with everybody. We'll hear from him in a moment. First, other top finishers, starting with Steve Post.
The dream season continues for Corey Heim. This one wasn't a win, but a second-place run. Corey, just describe the choice on the restart when you chose to go behind your teammate and then the run to the checkered.
Yeah, it was a debatable choice for sure. I wasn't sure which lane would prosper there, obviously, but I thought the 17 had really good speed, and he was doing a good job kind of keeping the gap closed and stuff, and the 98 said he was going to commit to us as well, so with him having damage. So I thought we had a good enough line on the bottom to keep the line rolling, and our truck is clean like it unloaded right now, so I felt like we had enough speed to push him out and stay out there. The outside was just too risky for people leaving us, so that was what kind of went into that mindset. But, overall good day. Gio did a great job. He deserved to win that one, so proud of those guys in the 17 group and also proud of our 11 crew.
Tricon Garage gets the win this time. It's Gio Ruggiero. That is Corey Heim with a second-place run. Jason Toy.
Ty Majeski brings it home up in the top 5. And listening to you guys earlier, you got that damage very early in this race. But your crew chief, Joe Shear, said, hey, let's just suck back up. We're not going to be able to lead a lot, but we can get up there and run with these guys. You did. Good top 5 for you guys.
It's hard to, not go to the top there with Corey. Corey and I were working, pretty good up the top. I just didn't quite have a truck with all this damage here capable of truly pushing the way I wanted to. So kind of just had to, kind of swallow what we had there and choose the bottom to make sure I had guaranteed help, and was able to come home with a podium.
Well, one of the great things about it, though, you're only 5 under the line. You go to a short track next week at Martinsville. I know you love those short tracks.
Yeah, I said my number, if we could be within 5 to 10 of the cut, that'd be like worst case scenario that I'd be all right with and feel good about our chances. So, yeah.